or go to 560retirement.com. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
The Islamo-Nazi takes over New York City. You did know she's an Islamo, right? You do know she's an Islamo-Nazi. National Socialist Worker Parties, as all the urban Democrats are. And as far as our very own, why do I have to entertain your kids? Get the hell out of here! Tired of these parasites versus the producers. We're going to win as we break up these states, massively increasing the states of the country. We'll talk about that and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, partly sunny with a shower in spots this afternoon with a high near 80. The Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to end legal protections for migrants fleeing violence and natural disaster in Haiti and Syria. The U.S. sending crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful and deadly earthquakes yesterday. At least 164 have died. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting with the King of Bahrain amid ongoing peace talks with Iran.
Technical talks between the United States and Iran are set to resume next week. According to the Pakistani Foreign Ministry, the current ceasefire is holding with a focus on the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's nuclear ambitions.
Chicago police are searching for answers today after 3 were injured in an early morning drive-by shooting on the city's Near West Side. And Mayor Brandon Johnson will sign an executive order to begin creating a Department of Gun Violence reduction. 5-year public health plan includes taxpayer funding for emergency relocation. Northsiders take on the Mets tonight. Sox host the Royals tomorrow. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
Start knowing.
Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks finishing mixed as investors continue to rotate out of high-flying AI stocks even after blockbuster earnings from Micron Technology. The tech-heavy NASDAQ, which has been dinged by worries around AI spending this week, jumped at the opening bell but quickly slid into negative territory during the trading day as the Magnificent Seven big-cap tech stocks continued to lose steam, led by Apple. Its stock tumbled 6%, one of the worst performers in the S&P 500 today. The tech giant said it's implementing price hikes on some of its products, increasing investors' concerns. The Dow winners, Caterpillar, United Health Group, and Johnson & Johnson. The Dow decliners, Apple, Microsoft, and McDonald's. The Dow rising 72 points, the NASDAQ lower by 118, S&P 500 down a point. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft.
And I got to tell you, too, I know I'm subject of punchlines for being such a Pilates fan, but there is nothing better for flexibility. It's not just flexibility, but it's the fluidity of motion. Dennis and Crystal Lake.
Pilates, me and you could make a pretty good team. I got some mats and stuff we could borrow to clean them off.
Are you partial to spandex by any chance?
I gave that up a little while ago.
Chicago's Morning Answer, weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Here it comes. Surprise! There's an avocado shortage! Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you! Also, you're out of napkins!
Those aren't cheap! Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot! Looks like you're in a turf war!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. Just recently, Ken Paxton secured the nomination for the GOP, looking to represent Texas in the U.S. Senate. Paxton will be facing a state senator and Presbyterian seminarian James Tallarico. The question is, as the New York Times put it, are Texans ready for Tallarico's kind of Christianity? Ruth Graham and David Goodman begin by talking about Tallarico's pastor, Jim Rigby, at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Austin. The article begins, quote, Jim Rigby, a pastor who rarely uses the word God, is a key to understanding the Senate candidate trying to pull off something unusual in Texas, end quote. Later, the reporters refer to a sermon where Pastor Rigby refers to, quote, the creative impulse of the universe, which, quote, can be called God, but doesn't have to be called God, end quote. I do not think that the majority of people in Texas understand the Bible in those terms. What we're talking about here is light years outside of biblical orthodoxy. So let's ask the question, is Texas ready for that?
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here is another look at your drive on the outbound Edens. You are still in good shape. The Kennedy up to an hour and 5, Jameburn Interchange to O'Hare, while the outbound Eisenhower is heavy again at an hour and 10, Post Office to 390. Some delays remain northbound right near the Tri-State from an earlier accident, but it is getting better. Stevenson out an hour out to the Veterans Memorial from DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and the outbound Ryan 38 minutes downtown to 95th Street. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that's heavy either way, northbound utility work, closing the 2 right lanes near Belbo. Both directions of the Tri-State are backed up. Other tollways will look good. This report is a service of Fox Valley Coins. No waiting, no problems. No charge for in-store verbal appraisals. Bring your gold or silver in today, foxvalleycoins.com. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise, bringing warmer weather with a mix of clouds and some sunny intervals, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white.
Before we get to the fantastic news of the Supreme Court telling all of the thieves from Somalia and Haiti and the rest of these third world dungholes where these temporary protected status citizens, suck-ons, parasites, rape and rob not just our citizens but our social safety net, I want to explain something that irritated me, and I had to ask Squirrel, was it the radio news or one of the 3 TVs I have in studio, Xanadu News, that tried to say that the market is stagnating? Do you understand what the market has done since Donald Trump was too big to rig? 4-1 he beat that office whore. 4-1. That's what he really beat her. Now, granted, in these urban suck-on areas where the parasites live, like New York and Chicago and New Jersey and L.A., what did you think the heroin welfare roach was going to vote for? What did you think they were going to vote for? Freedom? Or their own money? Of course not. They're going to vote for socialism and communism and the American Nazis, calling themselves Democrats. But when it comes to the actual people and what the market is and how decent people live, let me explain something. The Dow Jones, it doesn't matter who has stock, who doesn't. That's the growth of the economy, the growth of our private sector under Trump. Not that other stuff under this the office whore and the dimwit in diapers and their electric schemes.
You know what also excites me? Among the many things, I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them for so many reasons. Maybe because I went to school on a school bus. And it's Raise your hand if you went to school on a school bus, right?
The party of the short bus simpleton moron. That's that party right there. And thank God it was too big to rig, because the Dow Jones is up 22.97% today from November of 2024. From the election day of November 2024, November 5th, just the Dow Jones is up 22.97%. The NASDAQ is up 28.26% today from Election Day, when Donald Trump beat the office whore who's useless with her top on. Just ask Willie Brown. And when it comes to the S&P, well, that's the big winner, boys and girls. 28.43% since that simpleton fraud. And all the Democrats got their ass kicked, thank God. And here's the trail of phony industries, phony fraud industries that existed on American taxpayer dollars, not just the temporary protected status and welfare suck-on from Haiti and Somalia.
Hundreds of Arizona workers are expected to lose their jobs as Lucid Motors announces another round of layoffs.
You remember Lucid Motors? Like Rivian, like all of the eco-Nazi agenda of the Biden administration that forced American car companies to go into this boondoggle fraud. They're all fired. Everybody fired. You know why, Squirrel? Because like the Haitians and the Somalians tomorrow, the welfare train stopped when Donald Trump was too big to rig the stealing of 2020 election in 2024.
A new state filing shows the electric vehicle company plans to cut hundreds of positions at its Casa Grande Operations Center. 12 News journalist Tori King has...
No kidding. 700 that never would have had jobs, didn't deserve jobs, and there are no jobs. See, jobs only exist when private companies hire. When government hires, well, that's Chicago. That's New York. That's New Jersey. And that's feather bedding. And that's what Democrats do. Like organized labor mafias, they feather bed. So they turn more citizens into recipients of fraud than they do fight the fraud.
So that's why I am proud today that I'm going to sign an executive order establishing the Office of Gun Violence Reduction. This creates an
office on top of an office on top of an office. Doesn't create anything, you fracking imbecile. $37,000 faux hack. That's, by the way, your faux hawk is off center. You look moronic. You should wear tan pants, red shoes, and a red shirt. Start talking about how you like school buses, moron. What this does is just add what? Another 30,000 morons eventually, like all the other departments on departments on departments where nobody went to work today. Nobody.
A dedicated office which will coordinate efforts across city departments and agencies to drive down gun violence by establishing.
So while this is going on, then we got to hear about the little kids. The little kids got nothing to do after school. And the reason you have nothing to do after school is because these Democrat morons keep feather bedding government, and they suck all the money that taxpayers pay for you to learn how to read and write. Because if you knew how to read, write, and do math, you'd keep yourself busy, dummies.
There's so many pretty organizations that have so much funding, but it really doesn't do anything for the teens that need places to go after hours.
We're not just asking for miracles or handouts. We're asking for opportunity that we deserve. And when you give us that, we don't just...
Whoa. Hey, take that edge off your voice there, moron. You deserve nothing. Who deserves law enforcement are the decent people, the taxpayers, because simultaneously with all of this poppycock nonsense of the wannabe revolutionary Marxist moron, that's what that kid aspires to be. Guarantee you that some crooked rat politician's nephew or cousin or other suck on. What's it really look like in Shirakistan?
Several local businesses, as well as empty lots across the city, are getting a major investment. The city handing out $42 million in grant money to dozens.
What about that? Why don't you take that grant money and turn those useless properties into parks so the kids could have something to do? Because that doesn't featherbed. That doesn't add more money on top of more money on top of more money.
Of neighborhood projects.
Grants create pathways to higher wages and sustainable careers in long-term.
Like the grant to Lucid Motors? Like the grant to Rivian? Which, by the way, had the best quarter ever. They lost $480 million. That's their best quarter ever. And what do the real neighborhoods experience?
And what would happen if a cop pulled up right now and they saw us with this thing?
I'm bailing.
And now after your brother got shot, how do you feel about gun violence in here? Are you ready for the gun violence to stop? Or
Hell no.
Living here in Chicago, we've been talking with these guys right here, and is it pretty dangerous to be walking around these streets?
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna bow.
Is that why you're walking around with a shiesty?
I got upthrown by 4 pipes in one day, and that was.
You can't understand him, Squirrel. You know why? He's smoking crack during the interview. If only he had something to do, some money. Is he entitled to money too, or is it just the revolutionary Marxist?
Let's take it. We transform it.
We belong in this city, and we need places where we can truly belong and where we can feel like we can heal.
Isn't that cute, Squirrel? It really is cute. And the reality is all these kids deserve and all these kids need is for law to put away the crack smoker walking around with a gun while he's being interviewed. He's also known as a Chicago Public School honor roll student.
The first day I ever even knew how to hit a lick on my grandma.
I think he said hit a lick on his grandma. What the frack does that mean? I have no idea. And the nice thing is that kid can't spell a word in that sentence.
Don't come through playing. We're going to leave your ass right here in this line.
That a threat?
However you want to take it.
Okay. Now the sun has set, and it's getting a little dark out here. And you're just out here puffing. Don't puff in my face. I don't.
Walking down the street smoking dope. That's what they got. That's what they allow, and that's what they instruct police to allow to happen and let happen as they have gun after gun after gun. This is Nick Shirley, who made it to Chicago. So get ready for the fireworks, because once they figure out it's more than that moron with his methadone clinic and the boat named Butt Naked that are robbing the people. It's every one of these suck-on parasites.
It gives me a headache. How old are the kids out here when they first get their first guns?
13, 14, and like that. 11. Yeah, man.
Hey, Brandon, you might want to take a look at the interview Nick Shirley did. You don't need any kind of counsel. You just need a couple of hard-hitting cops to go out there with some pipes and get the guns.
And they out here, they just trying to do what they trying to do.
Hey, you switch me sides. Don't want me next to you. got me covered, right?
Yeah.
Here's some Chicago public transportation. You know, Squirrel, they say take the L if you hate yourself and you have no future and you want to get robbed, possibly raped, and most definitely threatened on a daily basis. Here is the red line, the blue line, the pink line, any red line of the Ghetto Express.
So if you're offended by my speech, it's because you're racist and retarded, and you're ugly like Donald Trump. So let's get it. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. Stop being racist and hurry the up on that these poor.
You get to pay for that. You ride on the Ghetto Express that smells a lot like O'Hare, and it turns out it smells a lot like Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park. Here's a girl whose father and mother must pay the rent, or some ex-husband or boyfriend or whatever, in Lincoln Park, warning her fellow girls about what you see in Lincoln Park.
This is a friendly PSA to my girlies walking through Lincoln Park, Chicago today. I just had the grossest encounter with a man. I'm walking my dog, and she proceeded to pull off to the side to go to the bathroom. And I looked behind me, and I see this man walking towards me, and he had a very slow walk, weird demeanor, and he had a mask on. He's 6 foot tall, maybe 6'1", in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Just looks normal, but had a mask on his face, and that kind of threw me off. And so she's pooping, and I'm watching him, and the sidewalk right where I'm at is 10 feet wide. Okay, no one's around. He proceeds to go from one end of the sidewalk to right next to me, walked so close behind me I could feel him, and I'm what the heck? My head was on a swivel. I noticed him, clocked him, was not letting him out of my sight. He proceeds to walk I don't know, maybe 30 feet in front of me, stands at a tree, whips his out, and starts peeing while staring at me in the face.
So the dog inspired the degenerate Democrat to whip out the Schwansteiger, Harvey Weinstein style, and relieve himself in Lincoln Park. How cosmopolitan. Just like L.A., New York or New Jersey, wherever Democrats reside. Hey, Brandon, perhaps you want to get a whip-out agenda. Put a committee together. Let's get whip-out specialists. And then she goes down the street, and there's a lady defecating in the bushes. Welcome to Lincoln Park. Don't confuse it with the South Shore Groper.
A warning for women in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood after a pair of attacks there. Last week, we told you about a jogger who was sexually assaulted in the 3100 block of East 79th Street. That's in Rainbow Beach Park. Now, police say another woman was attacked 2 days later on June 15th. This time in the 7700 block of South Shore Drive. Police are asking people near both incidents to check their surveillance video. Investigators say the same.
But the kids, who already society pays $33,000 a year to pretend they go to school, they deserve more money? I just want to be sure. Not the taxpayers who deserve to let their dog go to the bathroom without inspiring some suck-on crackhead Democrat to relieve himself with the dog while staring at the owner, or women on the South Shore to get groped, or girls in the Loop to not get punched in the face. These spoiled, entitled Marxist brats deserve what? Free Netflix? What exactly is it you spoiled, rotten kids want?
There's so many pretty organizations that have so much funding, but it really doesn't do anything for the teens that need places to go after hours.
We're not just asking for miracles or handouts. We're asking for opportunity that we deserve. And
you deserve nothing. The taxpayers deserve value. You want something to do? Go ask your mother and father. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer. Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family owned with integrity since 1981.
It is that time of year again to save babies by providing ultrasounds with our friends at Preborn. You know how this goes. We've done it every single year at this time. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, I want to provide a free ultrasound to a girl. Give her the chance to see the truth of what's happening in her body. Every $28 helps do that, saving one baby. $280 can do that, help save 10 babies. More does more. The phone number is 833-850-2229. 833-850-BABY. Join us saving babies with Preborn again this year. We're going to save hundreds of babies, one at a time, 2 or 5 or 10 at a time. That phone number again is 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or go online to 560theanswer.com/baby.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
AM 560. The Answer.
More money, more money, more money. You know what this situation needs, Squirrel? A committee. We need another committee.
So that's why I am proud today that I'm going to sign an executive order establishing the Office of Gun Violence Reduction. This creates a dedicated office which will coordinate efforts across city departments and agencies to drive down gun violence. By establishing this centralized structure, we will be able to deliver resources and services quickly and strategically and effectively to the communities that need them the most.
No, you won't. Everybody knows those communities. Just take the L. And when somebody starts to urinate on your shoe or spewing nonsense, talking to themselves like some crackhead, that's where you enforce the law, dummy.
DuSable, and he kicks ass today. Stop being racist, you big ass. If you voted for Trump, you about to die. I speak sacred English. You ain't gonna get away being racist anymore. You can call me crazy, but you ain't gonna do nothing about my work. Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved. She's a...
I told you they had music on the L, Squirrel. I told you. You just got to put up with a little urination, some crazy talks, a couple of threats, maybe a fire or two. Next thing you know, they break out into song.
Witch like Taylor Swift and all Caucasian women. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. She's a witch.
It's a little pitchy, dummy!
And all black women. God curse America. God damn America. God f*** America.
He's getting ready for the 4th of July. Another example of ghetto education. Peter Barrington.
Yeah, Shaun, first of all, that guy screaming, stop being racist. We're not racist. We just treat people by their character, and Democrats don't care.
I hate Marxists, communists, socialists, and scumbags of all color, Peter. I don't give a rip what color you are. If you're a scumbag, you're a lowlife rat.
Yeah, and what I wanted to tell you was, so the Postmaster General was in front of Congress yesterday talking about how the post office needs more money. Well, I figured out his earnings last year were $520,000 with like total compensation and stuff, and yet he wants
think he's
to
a
ask
CPS
for
teacher?
more money.
Yeah,
I don't know. He must have been born. He must have some sort of clout in Chicago. The way he caught on with all this money. I mean, his father must have been an alderman or something.
Peter,
but what is going on? You know, we need Amazon to take over the post office. Free.
Well, you certainly don't need the post office.
$20 a month.
One thing none of us need is the post
useless.
office. Of course it is. Well, most Democrat entities are, kid. You're going to learn that the older you get. Not only that, they don't really exist. See, the post office doesn't exist. It sucks on. It's a parasite. Social Security doesn't exist. It sucks on. It's a parasite. All of these entities and these committees, they would not exist if it wasn't for the unfettered rule of the absence of financial responsibility or fundamentals. None of them could exist. Giving money away on one hand, taking it on another. He has no idea what he's doing. One thing's for sure, he's very dedicated to creating committees. Collectivized.
This order embodies what Chicagoans do best. We do this better than anyone else. We come together to innovate, to collaborate, and to support one another.
Oh, I thought he was going to break into song like the crackhead. Collaborate and listen. No squirrel, no... he would have been pitchy. Can't even sing. Scott Willowbrook.
Hey, Shaun, how you doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Hey, listen, I called you yesterday. I was telling you how I've been to Tennessee and, like, how once you get to Tennessee, red state, you kind of see that, these states, they don't take the skin off their people's backs. They actually let them have their lives and that sort of bit. But what I wanted to add on yesterday, because we got cut a little short, was, once you see this in these other states, you realize that these people in these other blue states, they're nothing but con men. All they're doing is selling you skunk to get what they want, and the whole intention down the road is to bury you into the ground and move on with something else. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of with these people. I mean, it's a total sham.
All socialism is a con. There is no such thing. It is a con. There's no philosophy. There's no economics to it. The whole fracking thing is a lie, which is why to sell it, you don't need any experience. Look at these kids who are selling it. They've never worked. Mandamni never worked. Chevalier never worked. You know what they are? Con artists. But moreover, what they really are moving forward is the agenda of Islamo-Nazism. Thank you very much for the lead-in. You see, Squirrel, that's what nobody's talking about. It's the con job of socialism and utopia. But what are they really? They're Islamo, cultist Nazis.
And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
you remember Remember Prophet Muhammad? He's the one that married the 6-year-old pedophile. He didn't have sex with her until she was 9, though. That's okay. Take your cult marching, dummy. And when it comes to Savalier, she's another one. You didn't hear this on ABC or NBC or CNBC, did you? She's an Islamo-Nazi. See, Squirrel, all socialists are Nazis. National Socialist Worker Party.
I know that we all deserve a representative who isn't bought by AIPAC. I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted
Can the rest of the family read? They must have an IQ over 60.
3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada? She's here today, and when she asked me that, I thought, that is a great question.
You know what? That just reminded me, Squirrel. There's a BLT sandwich next door that I have to go get. We'll go to commercial. I'll get the sandwich. We'll be back shortly.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, if you're living with joint pain, listen up. Is your life filled with I can't? I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't kneel down. I can't take a long walk or golf with the guys. Well, today's a new day. Take action. A day to celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Back to enjoying their lives again thanks to the innovative treatments offered at QC Kinetics. I've seen the results and personally recommend Dr. Caravelli and her team. So many of you have been through their life-changing regenerative treatments done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down. I want you to schedule a free consultation. You don't have to live a life of I can't. Have a conversation with my friends at QC Kinetics and tell them I sent you when you do. Their treatments are natural, so don't watch summer pass you by again. Take action today. Schedule an appointment right now. Consultations are free. Call 312-827-6261. Again, that number, 312-827-6261. Call QC Kinetics to be pain-free this summer at 312-827-6261.
Whether you are old or young, no one likes to lose money. The market is at an all-time high. How much risk does your portfolio really have in it? Are you worried that you could lose your hard-earned money? Call TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights at 800-640-2256 for your free risk report. Call right now and we will include a full analysis of your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call TJ Stearns, a local and longtime sponsor on AM 560. Call 800-640-2256. Call now and tell him AM 560 sent you.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
312-642-5600. See if you could locate that cut You Can't Win Friends with Salad from The Simpsons. Squirrel. I got 3 minutes for my BLT. I got to go with the celery salt. So we'll be back very soon after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A partly sunny high of 80 this afternoon. The Supreme Court has sided with the maker of Roundup weed killer, blocking thousands of lawsuits, alleging it failed to warn users the product could cause cancer. The High Court, in a 7-2 ruling, found the company cannot be sued in state court. The U.S. beginning to send crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful and deadly earthquakes. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says help is on the way.
We're already deploying search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
At least 164 have been killed. Severe storms moved through the Chicago area Wednesday evening.
Right when the wind gust came, we saw a branch fall down, and then shortly after that, the entire tree kind of came with it, and it actually landed on a portion of the house.
Storms twisted through the northwest suburbs from Algonquin to Streamwood. The Northsiders take on the Mets tonight. The news, a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. mobile. Your next news update is at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jill Urchek.
On the inbound Edens, there's an accident reported at Dempster, 45 minutes in the outbound trip at 28 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare is an hour and 5. Eisenhower, 1 hour and 10 to get to 390. From downtown as well, in the Stevenson, 55 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355. Inbound Ryan, the on-ramp from 18th, there is an accident on that. Doesn't say it's blocked. Outbound trip 30 minutes. And USABA Lakeshore Drive solid either way. Northbound utility work blocking 2 right lanes at Bellevue. That stops from 18th. Tri-State is busy either way, so is the Veterans, but the Reagan and Jane Addams not too bad. On I-57 going outbound, you are seeing some tie-ups from Halsted down to 107th. And the Bishop Ford slowing down outbound. That's all due to road work. That delay starting at 130th, going down to 154th. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise with a mix of clouds and some breaks of blue sky, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
If you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Suzanne called after hearing me explain discount points on my radio show because her son was purchasing a home in Colorado. I answered Suzanne's questions and encouraged her son to call me for a free consultation. Suzanne was so impressed with the service I provided, she wrote this 5-star Google review. Quote, I sent David an email today with a question about discount points that I heard him talk about on his radio show. And he called me back this evening with a complete explanation. I'm so impressed with his responsiveness and knowledge. Thank you, Suzanne, for the amazing review. I strongly encourage everyone to check out Team Hochberg's close to 600 5-star Google reviews. Team Hochberg helped Suzanne and thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 560david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 560david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling your firearms? Get top dollar from national collectors. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Did anybody get the number of how many feather-bedded fraud people are getting paid from Brandon Johnson in the city of Chicago, our once great city, where now office buildings sell at 94% loss due to the Democrat socialist agenda of failure, corruption, and fraud? Anybody?
Is your organization funded by organizations that make money from food stamps?
Food stamps! Get some!
Do organizations who profit off of food stamps fund your organization or businesses?
I mean, I can't comment to that. Happy to talk about the research that needed.
Does General Mills fund your organization?
I don't have access to that information.
I do. It's right here. They do fund your organization. Do they profit off of food stamps?
Retailers are the major beneficiaries.
Do you think that that's a conflict?
So anytime somebody tells you socialism doesn't exist, look at these ghettos. All of it is socialism. What's the percentage of Chicagoans that are net taxpayers? I guarantee you it's smaller than the ones that know exactly what's happening to their once great city. Those are the ones in Lincoln Park now. But maybe after a couple of Schwansteigers get whipped out and urinated on some poodles, you'll pull your head out of your derriere and wake up. George, Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, it's a shame these kids have nothing to do in the after hours. When we were kids, we watched Playboy After Dark, hosted by Hugh Hefner. It was a sophisticated cocktail party with notable people. Very educated.
Very. I attained an appetite for bunnies. Adam, Lake Bluff.
Hey, Shaun, I got the German word of the day for when somebody goes number 2 in Lincoln Park. It's the Steigenberger. It's the hotel outside Rhein-Main Air Base in Germany.
There we go.
Steigenberger.
Right. It's going to be confused with Schwansteiger, which everybody knows what that is when he whips out and pees on your poodle. Thank you very much, though, Adam. I appreciate it. When it comes to the kind of money that people on welfare are paying for their life, it's astonishing when you look at the costs of nails and hair and Louis Vuitton bags, the ones that aren't stolen. But yet all these welfare areas, I can't help but notice the quality of hairdos, nails, cars, purses, and clothing.
Okay, Arlington Heights area, Illinois. I need a hair salon recommendation. I just got my hair done, cut and color, and it was $600 with tip, and I'm freaking.
What? It was what? Fracking morons. Save me from myself. I guarantee you that broad is definitely a Democrat. When you look at the kind of accepting of theft and fraud of our welfare system, let's start with the good news, Squirrel. We've got good news. At least now, we can get rid of the Somalian Haitian pirates.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, our senior judicial analyst, and Rebecca Rose Woodland, lead trial attorney and fronting partner with Lanuzzi and Woodland. So, Judge, what does this mean?
Well, this is a profound victory for profound. I'll tell you why in a second. I use the word profound for the president's efforts to reshape the landscape of federal immigration law. It's profound because when the president decides the temporary protected status doesn't apply because the problem in the home country doesn't exist anymore, that is not reviewable by federal judges. This is an extraordinary recognition of power in the executive branch for the Supreme Court to say to lower courts, you can't review this. Now, we're not talking about turning people away at the border. We're talking about people that President Biden, President Bush, President Clinton, this goes way back, found that these people had the right to be here because they'd be tortured, their money would be stolen, their children would be harmed, horrible things would happen to them if they were forced back to their home countries. The people argued, look, we're married, we have children, we're Americanized, we've been here for 20 years, our children are grown, you can't kick us back now. The Supreme Court said, yes, the president can, not the ones that...
Get out! Somalian pirates, 80%, 80 are on welfare. 80? Okay, 20, you could stay. The rest, get the hell out. And when it comes to temporary protected status, how many people are aware that sometimes the Democrat mafia itself enjoys the proceeds and the benefits of pretending to care about the Haitians?
It has entirely crushed Haiti. In 2010, we had an earthquake that killed 315,000 people. That's really a deadly earthquake, and millions were left without shelter. President Obama named Bill Clinton as the one that should be in charge of the reconstruction of Haiti. And in that process, the Clinton Foundation, through U.S. taxpayers' money, and people giving money worldwide to the Clinton Foundation for relief effort to Haiti, contributed about $14.3 billion. We're talking about $1 billion, okay? And the Haitian people has not seen not even 2% of that money.
2%.
Nothing was done in Haiti.
Yeah. No, and the New York Times has investigated this. Lots of other people have, and have found that it was donors to the Clinton Foundation that were then given these contracts, and they went in.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly, and actually they were given those contracts, they were given millions of dollars from that money, and nothing was actually done in Haiti. Yeah. Haiti, just like everything the Clinton have done, is pay for play, and they control Haiti, and they have been controlling Haiti since 1994 when they invaded Haiti. Yeah. Myself, I can tell you.
That's the scheme. And give temporary protected status and turn them into welfare parasites. That's how it works. Which is why the big bust of our so-called entitlement system, it doesn't have anything to do with people. It has everything to do with fraud.
New developments tonight in a massive Medicare fraud investigation that the CBS News Texas I-team has been tracking for months. What started with suspicious charges on seniors' Medicare statements led us to a small Austin office. It is now linked to a multi-billion-dollar international fraud scheme. This thing is huge. And this man, who I'm going to show you in a photograph, just named in the case, was just brought back to the United States after being captured overseas. Bring investigative reporter Brian New into the picture now. So talk to us about not only who he is, but how big this thing really is.
Doug, this is what we suspected all along, that the one Texas company that we discovered that was stealing from Medicare and private insurers is just one piece of a much larger criminal fraud operation. When we walked into this North Austin office 6 months ago, hi, how are you? We saw the alleged operation up close. Boxes packed with medical and insurance records, and 2 employees who told us they knew nothing about what was going on.
Oh, wow.
So this is all news to you?
News. I did not know.
Listed as a medical supply company, prosecutors say Centurion Medical was actually a shell created for the sole purpose of defrauding insurers. The first person tied to this alleged operation was Nika Machudazi.
Nika Machudazi? You get a guy named Nika Machudazi, and you allow him to steal hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars with 2 fracking employees? That'll make Robinson on the South Side and his boat butt naked jealous. He stole $74 million in a year and a half.
We now know he wasn't working alone.
Over the weekend, we conducted the foreign transfer to custody of a defendant who is allegedly connected to another $3.7 billion in intended loss.
This week, the Department of Justice announced a nationwide healthcare fraud crackdown, charging more than 450 defendants, including this man, Ibrahim Hilmi. He was arrested in northern Cyprus, then flown to Miami to face federal fraud charges. Prosecutors say Hilmi and Machudazi were a part of the same criminal network. Court records show Machudazi briefly took control of a Florida company registered inside this South Florida office building. Then ownership shifted to Hilmi.
$4 trillion has been stolen from the American people since Barack Obama was late on his car payment. That's what he opened up. Like every Chicago Democrat, they open up the highway of fraud, and they wallow in it, and then blame you. Socialism wants everything but your job. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Hello everyone, Gary Sinise here. I'm thrilled to share that me and the Lieutenant Dan Band are returning to Cantini Park in Wheaton, Illinois, where we will be rocking for our vets. Join us on July 11th for the West Suburban Foundation for Disabled Veterans America 250 concert, saluting our veterans and supporting your veteran community. Tickets are on sale now at WSFDV.org, and I can't wait to see you there. Let's rock for our vets.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The following contains a celebrity impersonation.
Mr. President, we're seeing reporting that air conditioning systems are failing as temperatures rise. What is your response?
I said, don't wait. People wait until the last second, then suddenly it's hot and nothing works. I understand this stuff probably better than anybody.
Mr. President, why hasn't the White House issued any guidance?
I gave perfect guidance. Call Air Right Heating and Cooling. That's the guidance. If people followed it, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Sir, but homeowners have so many HVAC options.
They're not like Air Right. You've got some bad installers out there, some real bad hombres. I wouldn't let them near the White House. It would be a complete disaster.
Mr. President, there are reports of significant rebates on new systems. Can you confirm?
I've heard about them. A lot of people talking about them. If you miss out, you'd have to be really not so smart. Tremendous savings, let me tell you.
Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling at AIR-RITE.com. Air Right. Doing it right since 1959.
AM 560.
The Answer.
There is no such thing as socialism. There's just stripping assets from decent in the name of indecent. And that's all it is.
There's so many pretty organizations that have so much funding, but it really doesn't do anything for the teens that need places to go after hours.
We're not just... Do you listen to this little kid? So then why don't you go after the other organizations that are stealing your money and the people who pretend to operate those institutions are driving around in Mercedes-Benz? Why don't you do that, dummy? Why? When we could have more money. You're entitled to it, right, kids?
Asking for miracles or handouts. We're asking for opportunity that we deserve. And
you're exactly asking for handouts. You deserve nothing. When it comes to socialism, it's funny how it works. Well, it doesn't. But what it does do is destroy the quality of life for those who refuse to participate in it because they have character, whether they be rich or poor. These are the people who welcome the idea that they would rather go hungry than be a recipient of welfare.
My name is Rachel Gressler, and I am a senior research fellow at Advancing American Freedom. The American people must report every dollar they earn to the federal government, and they face penalties, audits, and potential prosecution if they don't pay the right amount. Yet, there's remarkably little accountability for the $4.2 trillion taxpayer dollars that the Washington redistributes across about 100 federal benefit programs.
$4.2 trillion. The vast, vast majority of Medicaid, 80% stolen. 80%. Good news is it ends up on the lake in a boat named Butt Naked.
The owner of a methadone clinic in Oak Lawn is facing charges in a massive fraud scheme. He's accused of stealing millions to fund a lavish lifestyle. WGN's Angelica Sanchez has details on the case.
The CEO in this case is accused of submitting hundreds of fraudulent claims for counseling services that never happened.
You think he's got business cards, Squirrel? The CEO Huggy Bear, CEO of fraud and Gatzangul. Meet me, pier number 11. Butt Naked is the name of the boat.
He's accused of committing healthcare fraud of more than $75 million. This office in suburban Oak Lawn is at the center of a federal investigation. The owner and CEO, Daniel Robinson, is being charged with 2 counts of healthcare fraud. No one was there when we stopped by, and the phones went unanswered. A phone number for Robinson also appeared to be disconnected. Court documents allege ODA Solutions, located in the 4200 block of West 95th Street, submitted hundreds of fraudulent claims to government-subsidized healthcare programs for behavioral healthcare counseling and therapy services that were never provided. The company billed Illinois Medicaid over $92 million and was paid just over $75 million since January of 2024. It's also alleged the company regularly submitted claims for 500 or more hours of counseling and therapy services per day, an amount prosecutors say is much more than what the clinic's employees could have provided, even if they worked 24 hours a day. According to the complaint, when Medicaid-affiliated programs began asking for proof of services, the company is accused of providing notes from dozens of fake visits. Documents accuse Robinson of putting millions of dollars in Medicare payments to fund his personal brokerage accounts, purchase jewelry, luxury cars, and even a yacht named Butt Naked.
There you go, kids. You want something to do after school? You got a job. You're the first mate on the Butt Naked. Terry, Dyer, Indiana.
Hey, Shaun, I don't know if you've talked about it yet, but did you hear that Dominion voting machines dropped their lawsuit against Mike Lindell?
Of course I did. Come on, of course I did. The problem is you don't understand how it's being spun. It's being spun as if the company dropped the lawsuit because it was sold. And who it was sold to is not a communist Democrat fraud hooked to Venezuelan drug dealers the way it was created. So they're actually blaming Donald Trump for Dominion lawsuit being dropped versus Dominion lawsuit versus what Dominion did, which is cook the software. Cook the software is what they did. Number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Number two, they included millions of illegal votes.
Hey everyone, huge news. Judicial Watch lawsuits led to the cleanup of 4 million dirty names from the voting rolls in just the last 2 years or so. But there's more heavy lifting to be done for cleaner elections. That's why Judicial Watch just sued the state of Oregon to force it to finally clean up its voting rolls, which are a mess. Federal law requires states to take reasonable steps to clean up their voting rolls.
But Democrats don't do anything reasonable. They steal your money in the name of fake elections. Frank Lamont.
Mother of God, Shaun, everybody needs to relax. I owed the IRS $600. They nailed me with $300 worth of penalties and said they were going to take my house and my bank account. I sent them a check today. We're all good. The economy's good. I sent them $800, Shaun.
It's great. Now denounce yourself as a citizen, file for unemployment, Medicare, Medicaid, and food stamps, and you'll make $40,000 on the deal. Yeah, thank you, Frank.
Can I get a little something to wet my beak here, Shaun? Just a little something.
Yeah, just a little something. You got too much pride to use one of those ghetto link cards. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Are you the Weston from Hasselus Mattress?
That's me.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, well, thanks.
The way you talk about employee-free Hasselus showrooms, free next-day delivery, and prices that are way low. I mean, nobody does it better.
I don't know what to say.
Say that I can get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Okay. Now through Monday, at Hassellus, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Awesome.
You know what's really awesome? You can get a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hassellus has it for just $794.
I know. I have that tattooed on my...
Wow, you really are a fan.
Told ya.
Save big and get a free box spring through Monday at Hassellus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. If you're helping a parent or loved one move into senior living, you're dealing with a lot right now. Finding the right location, coordinating the move, managing their care, and then there's the house, often filled with decades of belongings and memories. The last thing you need is months of repairs, showings, and uncertainty about when it will actually sell. Here's how our veteran-led team helps. We listen to your needs first. Flexible closing date? We can do that. Extra time to sort through everything at your own pace? That works too. You keep what matters, family photos, heirlooms, whatever has meaning, and we handle the rest. For nearly 20 years, we've earned hundreds of 5-star reviews by treating families with patience and respect during life's transitions. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. That's jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Author, broadcaster, media personality whose career spans publishing, radio, television, podcasting. Very, very interesting. And the co-author of the new book that is out, The Democrat Murder of America. Dan Perkins will join us to discuss his new book and so much more after Mike Scott and the news.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, partly sunny, a shower in spots, and a high near 80. The Supreme Court has sided with the maker of Roundup Weed Killer, blocking thousands of lawsuits alleging it failed to warn users the product could cause cancer. Also, the court struck down a Hawaii law requiring people to get permission to carry guns into places like stores and hotels. The U.S. sending crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful and deadly earthquakes that has killed 164 so far. Police are searching for answers today after 3 were injured in an early morning drive-by shooting on the city's near west side. Officers say the victims, a 24-year-old man, a 43-year-old woman, and a 59-year-old woman, were standing outside when a vehicle pulled up alongside and someone inside opened fire. And Mayor Brandon Johnson will sign an executive order to begin creating permanent a Department of Gun Violence Reduction. Northsiders take on the Mets tonight. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
Company, Pure Talk.
And this is the Fox Business Report.
A choppy trading session with the major averages ending mixed, with the Nasdaq and S&P 500 posting a fourth day of declines as big tech lags. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks leading the losses, offsetting an upbeat chip outlook and a mostly in line inflation report. Shares of Micron Technology surged 16% to a new high following its blockbuster earnings report. Its revenue quadrupled in the second quarter. A severe shortage of memory chips for data centers helped triple Micron's value this year. Other memory stocks getting a boost from Micron's stellar report, with shares of SanDisk, Seagate Technology, and Western Digital popping. Software stocks fell, led by Microsoft and Palantir. Industrials and healthcare were among the gainers. The Dow up 72 points, the Nasdaq lower by 118, S&P 500 down a point. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Now, this 25th anniversary of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation remains committed to honoring the heroes shaped by that day. Heroes like NYPD Detective Victor Vargas, a U.S. Air Force veteran who died from pancreatic cancer after serving in the World Trade Center recovery efforts. Tunnel to Towers honored Detective Vargas by paying off the family's mortgage. You can donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Here it comes. Surprise! There's an avocado shortage! Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you! Also, you're out of napkins!
Those aren't cheap! Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise? Saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot! Looks like you're in a turf war!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the outbound Edens, watch out for an accident at Dempster. Stop and go from Peterson, 33 minutes going out. Kennedy inbound, an accident at Irving Park. Left center lane is blocked, hour and 20 going in, and it's an hour and 5 out. Eisenhower, 1 hour 15 to get from downtown to the Jane Addams. Stevenson outbound, an hour as well, out to 355. 30 minutes outbound Ryan, tighten the express 35th to Marquette. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, both north and south. Northbound, watch out for utility work in the right lane right near Belbo. That's stop and go from 18th. Tri-State busy either way, so is the Reagan eastbound. That is heavy right near Cermak with an accident in the right lane. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Craft University and The Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise, bringing warmer weather with a mix of clouds and some sunny intervals, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, I'll read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian economic school, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white,
Some people exist and they survive and they portray themselves as victims. Others never settle and they insist on thriving. My next guest is one of those people. And when you look at his storied history, capitalist, successful person, author, broadcaster, media personality, radio, television, podcasting. But one of the things he does that I find most amazing is that he co-founded a nonprofit organization that supports more than 28,000 veterans across 240 facilities nationwide. He's the co-author of a new book, The Democrat Murder of America, Demagoguery in the First Degree. Dan Perkins, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's a wonderful career you've had, and I love the fact that you continue to keep your foot on the gas, which is what you have to do if we're going to fight for the youngest country that isn't just the richest by happenstance, but the only one that was designed on the liberty and freedom and property rights of the citizen, not the government. And really, that's what we're trying to reestablish. And when I'm assuming, I did not read your book, but the staggering failure, corruption, and financial crime that are Democrat areas, I love the title of it.
Well, I think you have to throw in one more piece.
All right.
It's in the headline, murder.
No.
The Democratic Party, from its founding, has used murder and violence to intimidate people to do what they wanted them to do.
Well, it's just like communism, Marxism, or socialism. It is theft, and in order to get people to comply, some of the people you're going to have to kill, aren't you?
Yeah, and that intimidates other people. You know, after the Civil War, we had Reconstruction in the South. And there was a constitutional amendment that said if you served in the military as an officer or you were an officer in the legislature of the seceded states, you could not hold a public office, couldn't run. But that didn't stop the Democrats. They formed various committees that created the Jim Crow laws that were in effect until 1950s in this country. And in that period of time, almost 4,000 black men were hung in the South. But what people don't know, and were never taught in school, the northern white Republicans who were trying to help the black man assimilate into the society, 1,200 of them were also murdered at the same time as almost 4,000 blacks by the Democratic Party.
Yes, but yet it's still your fault, you blue-eyed white devil. That's the way it's spun today. And I'm wondering how you attribute the jujitsu of actual fact and history that we experience. I believe it's from a guy who likes big, ugly things, Barack Obama. I think that Barack Obama's so-called presidency is what set this country back generations of not progress, but of achievement, of civility, of Western civilization. What Barack Obama did is not just backdoor nationalize industries in our healthcare system. He drove the wedge of race and division that really was almost non-existent outside of areas that had very low IQs. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think if you, and I'm not trying to be overly critical, if you look at the Obama Presidential Library building, you'll get a hint. What you were saying is, he was involved in the designing of it. There's no windows. It's an ugly tower. Doesn't fit with the environment. It's just an example of him trying to demonstrate that his power and influence. But it really started, for 100 years after the Civil War, black people were Republicans. And it wasn't Barack Obama who changed it. It was actually FDR. He started the situation of saying, if you give a man a fish, he feeds himself for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he can take care of himself for the rest of his life. And what they wanted was to not teach him to fish, but to keep coming back to asking more. And the more that they depended upon the Democratic Party to give them stuff, the less enthusiastic they became about staying with the Republican Party.
Well, what's fascinating, too, about Barack Obama is that he's really an enigma, right? I mean, if you really look at him, he's not from Chicago. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow about Chicago. His mother was as white as the sheet of paper in front of me, or an alderman's ass who just went to prison named Ed Burke. His mother was white, like Elizabeth Warren. His father was an African. Nobody ever watched Good Times or Shaft. Nobody understands what American black culture was in the Obama family, which used to be the Soetoro family. He was raised in Indonesia by the second richest man in the country. I'm amazed at how he was able to swindle every moron that pretends he's from Chicago or that he's black like every American black man. He's not. He has nothing to do with this. He doesn't understand anything except how to lie and sell this fraud of utopia in a 5-year plan. And that's really kind of what has led to these areas being ghettos. Every municipality run by a Democrat, every state run by a Democrat. The standard of living is so low. How can you detach it from all the other results of communism and socialism?
When you look at the FBI statistics on the 20 most dangerous cities in the United States, 19 of the 20 are blue cities and have been blue for decades. They can't deal with it. Part of the motivation why we wrote this book is that I got tired after year after year after year seeing city of Chicago, and I'm not from there, but to see the city of Chicago was the murder capital of the United States, and the elected officials did nothing about it.
Well, they profit from it. You have to understand. You know, it reminds me, remember when we were kids and we were younger, the scandal that was Serpico? Do you remember that whole scandal? That was a big scandal because what it said is basically that the government itself was enabling and protecting drug dealers, profiting from crime, profiting. Well, that is Chicago, Dan, and I know because I am from there. And the idea that we ignored the fact that every sexually frustrated housewife from a suburb knew where to go buy the dope and that it wasn't being protected by government, and that right now for Juneteenth, or as it's known on my show, Paul Lisnick Day, 40 Chicagoans were shot, and it's squashed today because now we have a new committee like a Soviet Politburo that's going to attack gun violence versus the fact that you've normalized 1,100, 1,200 people getting shot in a year, and you call that an improvement because it's not 4,000 what it used to be. So you normalize that low living, and now nobody asks why isn't there any businesses, just when can the government put a grocery store on the corner of a ghetto? That's how standards get low. And how do you combat it versus how can we just stop funding it?
By giving people an opportunity to reassert their independence and get a job. And have an economy like Mr. Trump is trying to do to provide as many jobs as possible for the people that want to work.
One of the things that's amazing is the amount of money that's being stolen in entitlements. And as predicted, Minnesota was, the tippy tip of the iceberg. Now the numbers are $4.2 trillion that goes into 100 different bureaucracies, and 80% of it is stolen. Do you think that dog hunts among people who are used as useful idiots, the downtrodden, the undereducated, the miseducated, the citizens of Chicago and New York and New Jersey and California? The money's not going to them. It's getting stolen in their name. Do you think maybe that will inspire some people to read or learn or stop committing suicide through supporting Democrats?
I would like to hope so, Shaun, but I don't know. But I do believe that if a certain number of people in those cities that you mentioned wind up getting a job because Mr. Trump has brought businesses back to the United States and they're desperately looking for people to work, those people, when they go to work and they get a paycheck, there's a certain amount of pride that happens, and that spreads throughout the community. Look what happened when Donald Trump was president the first time. We had the lowest unemployment rate in the black community in years, decades, because he gave people the honorable choice of getting a job.
No, listen, I agree in theory with the premise, but you have to understand, Dan, I watch it. You know, in our areas, the most ghetto-intense areas with the most amount of money, the citizens drive cars, then they don't make payments. They have Louis Vuitton purses. If you fudge the welfare money versus somebody who pays taxes and earns money, you'd have to make about $110,000 a year to acquire what a single mother of four, not without the same father, can get from jumping in the system. And that's my fear, is that we've incentivized low living, welfare recipient parasites to where you disincentivize. And almost mathematically, I mean, you spent a lot of years as an investment advisor. Almost mathematically, if you fudge it out on paper, are you better off sitting on your ass doing nothing and being a degenerate and making the equivalent of $109,000 a year, or getting up when the alarm clock goes off, making the $109,000 and getting audited for $800 like my caller before I took you, didn't pay the government $600, it turned into $800. I mean, after all, none of the welfare recipients ever go through an audit, do they?
No. But one of the things that's amazing, if you look at the war on poverty started by Lyndon Johnson, and you look how much money the federal government has spent on the poor to date. It's $22 trillion.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
$22 trillion.
Yeah,
it is. You can give every poor black woman in the country a whole lot of money, and she'd find a way to spend it to have a good life and wouldn't be on the public dole.
And the other thing, too, is there's more by numbers, not percentages, but by numbers, there's more whites, non-blacks on welfare than blacks on welfare. But the percentages are where it's stark. And where it's stark is where it's concentrated. And where it's concentrated is where it's incentivized, and where it's rewarded with the pretend virtue of giving somebody dignity, which you and I both know you can't. You certainly can't give somebody dignity. You can give them money. You can give them a free apartment. You can give them a free car, but you can't give them dignity. And therein lies the real crux of the problem. So in my opinion, and I'm curious to know what your conclusion is, my opinion is in order to stop it, you need to break it. So you need to allow the decent people to stop being taxed for it, and you need to stop paying it. Just stop it and let the cards go the way they can. And Trump has already, in a year and a half, not just the percentage increase of the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the S&P, but he's already incentivized private economy to grow. Now, it only grows where it's welcomed, right? So you got 11 states, 70% of the GDP made in 11 states, not one led by Democrats. But that might be the solution. Stop funding all these bust-out degenerate states like my old one, and start to shut the money off so the good people can thrive. And just cold turkey. What do you think?
I think that it makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, and I think that we're looking at a situation where we're going to have to make some very serious decisions because we've got almost a $40 trillion deficit. And
yes,
my grandchildren are going to be paying that off. And do you know that there's a provision in the Constitution that says the government, if they borrow money, has to pay it back in 2 years?
Well, Dan, it's amazing because, so few people understand that these policies were created to guarantee debt, which is taxation on your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and generations yet unborn. The politician, and you know this, the politician is incentivized to not pay attention to finance and make that debt bigger than it can be because, after all, that's what keeps us slaves and him in power. I think what we need to do is, and I think Donald Trump, Scott Bessent, and this crew right now are the exact ones to do it, is to destroy the dollar as it exists and create a new currency attached to our assets, to our economy, and to our land, and reintroduce a currency and flush this one. After all, Dan, you somebody tell me who makes the interest payments on debt that nobody bought. Now, like you, I'm a registered investment advisor. I was a trader for many years. You make a buyer out of thin air, and you say he bought the debt. Then you tax people to pay it. Who makes the money? There was no buyer. That's a financial crime. That's a swindle that Mitt Romney would smile at as he put the Brill cream in his hair and pretended to be an investor. That's a fraud right there, brother. And if we can't stiff nobody, we're going to have to pay everybody, aren't we?
Yeah. And I, you look at, we're back again talking about reparations, and some people in the black community want us to pay black people that weren't even in the country, didn't have any relatives that were slaves, but because they're black, they need to get reparations. And in that Chicago suburb of
Evanston,
where Northwest
Evanston,
it's
Evanston, self-loathing trust fund babies, as it translates to in Pennsylvania Dutch. Yes.
And so it's really an amazing thing that how quickly we got to $40 trillion.
Well, I mean, look at Barack Obama. Since Barack Obama was a bust out in Chicago, having greasy scumbag developers buy his land, he since that time we added $30 trillion. That's staggering, Dan. It's almost a mathematical impossibility, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, look at Stacey Abrams in Atlanta. She had a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and it had $100 in cash. And in the last 90 days of Biden's administration, he sent her $3 freaking billion to put in her nonprofit.
Yeah. You think she would have hired a yoga instructor or perhaps a chef?
Well, she got a deal because every time she would dole money out to another nonprofit, she got a piece of the take. So she was in no tenant pundit, but she was in Fat City because she was raking off a lot of money. And see, that's one of the reasons I really believe why they hate him so much, why they hate Donald Trump, because he's figured out all their schemes, and little by little he's trying to shut them down. All but
one. And I'll tell you what. I listen. I'm a huge fan. Okay. I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. He earned it. I didn't give it to him because, when you're from Chicago and in Chicago, he hired some scoundrel Democrats, Dan. He hired Ed Burke, the one I told you about, this big fat white ass. That guy went to prison. That's Ed Burke. That was Trump's lawyer. He hired the nine-finger Yakuza, Rahm Emanuel, gave him $50,000 when he ran for mayor. So I was very standoffish, but he earned my appreciation for him because he was a capitalist, right? And he really is a capitalist. Sometimes a little bit of a corporatist, but a capitalist. You know where he let me down, and I haven't touched upon it because I don't think you can ever make a deal with a cultist, an Islamo-Nazi. There's no such thing of making a deal with somebody who thinks it's the year 622 and the pedophile creator of the religion is going to deliver some sort of happiness in the afterlife. So I don't like this, what's happened with Iran, but I like so much of what he did. But I didn't like the Qatar thing. Now, you've written, from what I can gather, 4 books on the Islamo-Nazi cancer in the world. What do you think about that? How are you thinking? Because I know you're a big supporter, but is it a head fake? Is he not really buying it, knowing that he could say, well, they screwed me and I had to annihilate them? I think the only peace you can have with occultists is a Carthaginian peace, but you tell me what your thoughts are.
I think what we have to do, in fact, I wrote about this to the president recently. I'm very afraid that somebody's going to really put pressure on him to send people from the Corps of Engineers to go into Iran and start excavating where the nuclear dust is, and without dealing with the IRGC and the Army to significantly reduce their strength. Because I believe what will happen as we start digging out in granite to get down 1,500 to 2,000 feet to get to this stuff, the armies and the RRGC is going to attack. And what does that mean? That means that the president's going to have to put more thousands of troops in that city, in that country, to protect around where they're digging. And if in my book, The Brotherhood of the Red Nile, the first book is called A Terrorist Perspective. It's about how terrorists think. And it clearly lays out the solution for Mr. Trump of what he can do rather than spending all that time, energy, money, and potential lives. All he's got to do is drop about 10 dirty bombs.
Yeah.
And he'll contaminate that soil in about a 3 to 5 mile radius that nobody will go in for 50 years.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, take a look at Hiroshima today or the south side of Chicago. Where would you rather live? Get the plane in the air. Somebody gas it up. Yeah. Dan Perkins, I really love your work. And, obviously, I've been paying attention to you. And the books you've written in the past are fantastic. I cannot wait to get a copy of the new book, The Democrat Murder of America, which is the title. Where do you prefer people buy it?
Right now, go to the book website, murderofamerica.com. We're negotiating with all the usual sources. It's been a phenomenal reaction already. People are saying, why didn't you write this book 10 years ago or 15 years ago? And it's really what it is. It's a history book.
Yes.
It's full of history, full of annotated history with the facts, which means it's going to be difficult for the Democrats to really, really try anything against the book. And I've had people who I've interviewed the last week who said this book should be in every classroom in the United States from now on.
Well, Dan, I think that's the beauty, right? Look at what he's done in education. He's changing it forever. And I believe when you look at what's happening with progress and what we're living through, in 10 or 15 or hopefully shorter, kids won't go to these indoctrination camps like in Chicago. It'll all be done at home, and they'll get the real facts, and this way we can have the argument, which isn't an argument at all. You're not arguing. I'm not arguing with you. You're arguing with facts. And that's what I love about everything you've done. I mean, I've been paying attention, Dan Perkins. Thank you for making time for me.
Anytime. I'd love to come back again.
Thank you very much, Dan. You take care. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
This 4th of July, celebrate America the right way. Fire up the grill, invite the family over, launch the fireworks, and proudly display a handcrafted wooden American flag from uniquewoodenflags.com. These stunning hand-finished wooden flags are built with real craftsmanship and patriotic pride. Whether you want a classic American flag, military tribute flag, America First design, or a beautiful flag cross that celebrates both faith and freedom, they've got something for every proud American. Perfect for your home, office, man cave, lake house, garage, or as a meaningful gift for veterans, first responders, and patriots who still love this country. This Independence Day, don't just wave the flag. Display it with pride. Visit uniquewoodenflags.com today. That's uniquewoodenflags.com.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson,
on AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Wolters Kluwer United States Incorporated seeks Business Systems Analyst 3 in Chicago, Illinois to perform system administration and configuration. Telecommuting permitted $117,957 to $187,900 per year. Medical, vision, and dental benefits apply at jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 36985. Again, Wolters Kluwer United States Incorporated seeks Business Systems Analysts 3 in Chicago, Illinois. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com. Reference number 36985.
Did you know that undiagnosed or untreated diabetes and hypertension can cause kidney failure? The National Kidney Foundation of Illinois has the nation's only traveling kidney screening program, the Kidney Mobile. The Kidney Mobile is offering free diabetes, blood pressure, and kidney disease screenings in your area. For more information, visit kidneymobile.org. Early detection can prevent kidney failure. Take charge of your health and get screened.
312-642-5600. Jim on the south side, you're definitely going to be first, but that'll be after news with Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, we see partly cloudy skies for the overnight and a low of 60. The Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to end legal protections for migrants fleeing violence and natural disaster in Haiti and Syria. The U.S. sending crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful and deadly earthquakes yesterday that has killed 164.
We're already deploying search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting with the King of Bahrain amid ongoing peace talks with Iran as well today. Severe storms moved through Chicago Wednesday evening, leaving behind major damage, places like Algonquin and Streamwood. Police are searching for answers today after 3 were injured in an early morning drive-by shooting on Chicago's west side. Mets and Cubs tonight, Sox and Royals tomorrow. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the roads with Jill Urchak.
It's busy on the Edens outbound. An accident at Dempster on the side, slowing on the spur, Waukegan to the junction. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, that's an hour and 10. Inbound an hour and 15 with an accident at Irving Park blocking the left center lane. Outbound Eisenhower 1 hour and 10, post office to 390. Stevenson outbound 55 to 355. Dan Ryan a half hour downtown to 95th Street. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, especially north. Roadwork in the right lane at Belbo. Solid from the Stevenson, but the delays are in both directions. Same for the Tri-State. Southbound crash on the exit ramp to Lake Cook. A stall in the left lane at the Grand Avenue curve. Eastbound Reagan, an accident at Cermak. This report is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. Welcome a Woodland sales expert into your home. You'll get a no-pressure sale, a product expert, a design consultant, and someone who has your best interests in mind. Visit woodlandwindows.com to get started. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise with a mix of clouds and some breaks of blue sky, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Regular no lead is $3.75 a gallon at the Citgo on Galena Boulevard in Aurora, $3.84 a gallon at the Delta Sonic on Route 34 in Oswego, and $3.77 a gallon at the Thorntons on Route 59 in Plainfield.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Right, everybody cares about health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, and so many of us are guessing our way through our health, guessing what foods to eat, what supplements to take, wondering why some things make us feel better than others. Now, that's where Viome comes in. It's a simple, at-home gut health test that uses advanced RNA technology. It analyzes your gut microbiome to understand how your body is truly functioning in this moment. And from there, Viome then creates a personalized food and supplement plan designed specifically for your body. Right, Linda? You've been doing this.
I have been doing it, and the test is easy. It's got great steps. It walks you right through. It's easy to do. You can send it right in.
Take the guesswork out of it. Get real data. Go to VIOME/Hannity. VIOME.com/Hannity today. And when you follow their plan, you can expect better digestion, more energy, improved mood. Stop guessing. Start knowing.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Got a large collection? We'll make it fit in your wallet. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Don't get nervous, squirrel. I'm still fast afoot. By the way, if I wouldn't have made it, just play the elevator music. Girl from Ipanema is my favorite. Jim, Southside.
Yeah, Shaun, your last caller, Dan, brought up an old saying about if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Well, there's a better version to that.
All right.
You give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. If you deport him, you never have to feed him again.
I like your version, Jim. Can you believe $4.2 trillion? $4.2 trillion. And they have no statistic on how many of the recipients. This is no statistic on how many of the recipients of SNAP, the food program, sell it. You know how many of them sell it? Yeah. It's been a scam that's been going on for decades. Why do you think they have these moron grocery stores in the ghetto that have one can of peas on the shelf? They're paying 40 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. They turn it in. They make the 70 cents. The degenerate buys an 8-ball. I'm so sick and tired of pretending these schemes work when they don't, and we're the ones that get stuck with the tab. Thank you, Jim.
You're right. Absolutely. All right.
Thank you, brother. 4.2 trillion. One of the propaganda networks will talk about the trillions being stolen.
Running a nearly $100 million healthcare fraud scheme. Amy Lee Tai was just added to the FBI's most wanted fraudster list. Aniela Ruiz talking exclusively with the Houston FBI agent in charge about this case. She's live from the federal courthouse downtown. Aniela?
Well, Lynn, she was expected to appear here in federal court. Instead, they believe she fled the country. 41-year-old Emily Tai facing several federal charges for allegedly running a healthcare fraud scheme of more than $90 million.
$90 million. You know what kind of place that buys you in Vietnam? That's where she is. What are the extradition rules? Nothing. $90 million in the wind. And we can't even control the ones that are stealing the money right here, like this scumbag in Oak Lawn with the boat named Butt Naked.
Robinson is also accused of laundering at least $10 million in illegal gains through Car King Auto, a Chicago Heights car dealership he helped set up.
Squirrel, give me $50 on they let this scumbag walk, because who's he going to go before? A Democrat low-life judge, like the Democrat low-life judge that just allowed the two scoundrels from Ghetto Loretto Hospital to steal nearly $1 billion and walk.
My name is Rachel Gressler, and I am a senior research fellow at Advancing American Freedom. The American people must report every dollar they earn to the federal government, and they face penalties, audits, and potential prosecution if they don't pay the right amount. Yet, there's remarkably little accountability for the $4.2 trillion taxpayer dollars that Washington redistributes across about 100 federal benefit programs.
Now, you could see she's nervous. I get it. It's a big topic, right? But she's giving big information. Don't use the verbiage of the fraud. They do not redistribute anything. They don't take money and give it to somebody else. They create debt where there is no money. And they use it as a lever and a weapon against people who make money forever. That's why you don't hear one Democrat, not one, even remotely offended at the trillions of dollars stolen. Not one. Did you hear one about the billions in Minnesota? How about the billions in Illinois or New York, New Jersey, California? Did you hear any about the ones in Philly? Another ghetto once great city. And now instead you have media personalities whose husbands have robbed and perpetrated fraud on Medicare, like Sonny Holston, whose grandfather was a slave trader. She pretends to be down with the struggle. Then give your money to a food bank, whore.
I disagree with that. I think that New York is the nation's cultural and political capital, and that's just a fact. And I think the Democrats...
Just a fact. You're a fracking ghetto where the garbage doesn't get picked up and the scumbag, degenerate Democrats defecate in the street. You think because you can afford to skip over it, somehow it's cosmopolitan? It's another ghetto.
Democratic Socialists of America is a force to be reckoned with at this point.
Yes.
I really do believe that.
Democrat Socialists of America. You mean Nazis? You mean Nazis! That's what you mean, isn't it, whore? Then again, you've been selling that race card. You're not black, and your grandfather was a slave trader. Verlon, Michigan.
They're softening us up, Shaun. We're getting all of these victories from the Supreme Court, but we're going to lose the big one, birthright citizenship. Did you hear the guy on Dan's show this morning? And every person that Dan brings on is saying that the Supreme Court will not have the balls, basically, to rule in Trump's favor. I think we're going to lose the big one.
Well, we've already won some pretty big ones. And I understand your point, but it's such a ridiculous argument. So let's cultivate the argument as it's made. So two illegal, low-life, degenerate drug dealers, scumbags, tax cheats, come here and they have a kid. And then that kid's a citizen. That's one scenario. The other scenario is Chinese communists have an entire travel agency, travel scheme, where they rent out hotels, or in some cases buy them. They send their pregnant women here. They have the babies. Then they take them back to China, only to wait to collect entitlements when they're seniors. And that is over 1 million people. So when you look at it as if, what do you think, the judges who said that Obamacare was somehow legal after it was argued as a penalty and the Justice Roberts turned it into a tax are going to save you on the big one? Of course, you're right. So don't take the wins where you can get them. Right now, at least we can get rid of the Somalian frauds. We can get rid of the Haitian frauds. We can get rid of the frauds from Ukraine, the frauds from the Soviet Union, and all of the people who come here and never paid a dollar in the system and have life-sustaining welfare that equals me, you, Glenn, Phyllis, Squirrel, Square Toes Jims, and Honey Bunny to make $110,000 a year, and they get it for nothing. So I'll take the win where I can get it.
You just said one of them, the travel visa, basically the Chinese coming over here. They didn't rule on that. They still can do that.
Well, that's going to fall under citizenship, birthright citizenship. That's how they do it. It's a pregnancy scam that's been going on since the 80s. You can look it up yourself. Since the 80s, the Chinese communists have been sending pregnant women here to have babies who become American citizens. They all go back to China and they collect welfare without ever being here.
So that's still going to happen.
Of course it is. Yeah. All right. Take the win where you can get it.
We lose. Okay.
We don't lose nothing. First of all, we don't lose because we don't participate other than the money that's extorted from us. When you talk to me and people listening, we're not going to go in on these schemes. That's who loses. You think these recipients who live in these ghettos, who never have a quality of life, never have a day of dignity or character, you think they win because somebody pays their rent? That's the perpetual loser. The perpetual loser is the recipient of what you say is entitlement. They don't win. They never won in their life. Just because somebody pays their bills doesn't make them a winner or give them dignity. They're forever cast in these Democrat dungholes. And that is what you get used to, like this.
At the corner of 115th and Halstead, there's not too much to see. There's an empty Jewel Osco on one corner and a vacant Aldi on another. That store served the West Pullman community for 2 decades.
We don't have any stores out here, not enough anyway. I made a promise to the community.
So now that guy's half drunk. You could hear it in his voice. He's just got pickled. He's got the ripple in the back of the Buick. And he says we don't have any stores there. Why not? You chased them out. Your kids chased them out. Your quality of life chased them out. You put him in a Mercedes, he's still going to be a bum.
Well, we make these people's homeowners through Section 8. These people, homeowners through Section 8, they own a home just like you do. That's terrible.
They don't. They don't own a home like you do or I do or Glenn does or anybody who actually pays their bill. They don't own it. They were given it for being a rat. Congratulations. You have the illusion, the veneer of decency. You're not decent. You could hear his voice. Here, listen to him. He's drunk as a pig. It's 6:30 in the morning. What are you going to give that guy a house? Big deal. He's still going to be a bum. He's going to die a bum, live as a bum. He's a Democrat. Sorry, we went long. 312-642-5600.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Your home or business has storm damage and you have an insurance claim.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters. Today, insurance companies are notorious for offering way too little money to repair damage to your home or commercial building due to wind, hail, tornado, floods, or fire. Crosscom works for you, not the insurance company. As licensed adjusters, Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. After they get you the fair insurance company result, Crosscom can start doing your repairs. Crosscom is a full construction and restoration company that will get your property back to its pre-loss condition, getting your life back to normal. Roof, siding, windows, doors, fire restoration, Crosscom does it all.
Call Crosscom.
Licensed in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. We share your conservative and Christian values. Let us handle everything. It all starts with a call.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
AM 560. The Answer.
I'm curious. Do people think that things or even inheritance equal character, equal dignity? The guy right now who just climbed in a truck that he can't stand, but he can't afford another one, and he's dirty, whether it's mud or cement or he's just dirt tired because he got done working 18 hours, and he knows that 40, 50, 60% of the check he has left is barely going to cover the bills, the food, and the rent. But he goes home and he sits down and he has dinner with his kids. Do you not see he's 5 times the man of a J.B. Pritzker? 1,000 times the man of anybody who doesn't do what he does? You think that he's not the rich one, but J.B. is? J.B. Pritzker is another welfare recipient of a different kind because his mommy knew who to shake the tail feathers and give a lap dance to. That's all J.B. J.B. never made a fracking dollar in his life. It's somebody else's money he gives away. And look at what he does with it. He spent hundreds of millions of dollars so he could pretend to have his first big boy job. First big boy job. And the people who support him, they know that. They know when you look at that butter-handed pansy half-sissy that he never worked a day in his fracking life. They're like Blago. They just want some of that money because they think it equals character. Blago's another one. Blago is a nothing, not just an ex-con. The only reason you know his name is he married a mafia's daughter. He doesn't marry Dick Mel's daughter. You don't know this moron, chipmunk-faced pig's name. He's not a congressman or a governor. He's nothing. They're nothing without political corruption.
I mean, I have thought a lot about that since you and I talked. And I have to say I think it makes political sense for both of us.
Oh no! Look, I think this would be great.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
The pitch, the pitch for you, I think, is. You're picking,
banking and financial experience and know-how and all of that, right?
Yeah, I don't know about banking, right? Cause
but financial know-how.
Throw my sister in Superior Bank in.
What happened to her bank? She get a class or something?
Yeah, she was chairman of a bank, and it had.
They're laughing at the constituents that they pretend to represent. I didn't bank at that ghetto bank. Did you? That subprime ghetto mafia half-ass pansy lending. That's all it was. You gave money to people who didn't understand it. You pretended to be a bank. And what happened? You lied. You cheated. You frauded. The bank goes under and they laugh at the people who were destroyed by it. That would be like Aldi laughing at the people when they close the store rather than telling them, stop robbing us or we're going to close the store. And the Democrats love it. They'll support this fat pig because, like Blago, they think some of his trust fund is going to end up in their pocket.
Subprime loans. I mean, all the bad stuff, you know.
Superior Bank turned out to be an inferior bank.
Inferior, exactly. Very good. I like that, inferior bank.
So when Squirrel's in the bathroom, men's room, and Blago walks in, and Pritzker walks in, and Robinson, the guy who just stole $75 million with the boat butt naked, walks in. How many guys, how many men are standing in the men's room? One. Squirrel. The others are scum. And that's all they'll ever be. Scum.
I haven't thought about that. That's a good one. Anyway, so yeah, but I was nothing to do with that, so that's not going to be my problem. But no, I think my problem, if you...
Squirrel, of course I used you, Squirrel. If I used me, they would have never even walked in the men's room. They know. Glenn, Orlando.
Yeah, Shaun, these people and all this stealing has really got my blood pressure sky high. It's for people that have left the country who they're looking for, you know, the fraud people, the 8 most wanted, whatever it is.
100 million in Vietnam.
They need a bounty. Put out a bounty saying you get a reward if you bring these people to justice. Tell us where they are. Just tell us where they are.
How do you find a 98-pound Vietnamese broad in Vietnam? Hello?
Easy. Have you seen... How many Mercedes has she got?
Oh, come on. She's going to lay low. By the way, I think for $300,000, you could live like you're worth $10 million in Vietnam. That's going to be fantastic. You'll never catch her. At least you caught this scumbag Robinson on his boat butt naked. Tell me that's not an absolute comedy act. Nothing says stealing like a methadone clinic in a crackhead neighborhood. Thank you, Glenn. Here he is, Robinson. Did you ever see this clown, too? Thinks he's Isaac Hayes without the muscle or the talent or the ability to sing.
Case against Robinson is part of a larger investigation by the Department of Justice. In a news release, the U.S. attorney says a Naperville man, Amurali Bimani, was also charged in December of 2024 with 3 counts of healthcare fraud for taking...
Well, maybe they'll get the same Democrat scum judge that allowed the doctors who stole $1 billion through Ghetto Loretto to walk. That's why you don't leave Illinois, you defect. I'm not an Illinois resident who left. I'm a defector of the Soviet scum states of America. We'll be back.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Raj Shah, host of Unleash Your Wealth.
You know, there are a lot of clients and people coming in from the radio into our office saying, I don't want to lose any money. I need to protect the money I have saved over the last 20 or 30 years, where you have strategies where you can structure an income stream where it has an inflation protection so that as inflation, if it continues to go up, your income will go up.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-654-1555 or visit accessoneInc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneInc.com. Tech made personal, locally.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-926-5959. That's 800-926-5959. 800-926-5959.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
My next guest is a director of so many great documentaries. Capital Punishment was one, so many. We've had him on before, but the thing to remember when we talk about Chris Burgard is that Matthew Broderick has been signing autographs because of the dance moves of Chris Burgard, who made his Hollywood debut as the dance double for Matthew Broderick in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now the director of a new documentary, Remember the Alamo, Don't Sharia My Texas. We'll have Chris Burgard on to discuss that and so much more about the Islamo-Nazis after Foxweiser.
Perilous passage through the Strait of Hormuz. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps attacked a cargo ship in the strait today.
A U.S. official is confirming that an Iranian drone hit that cargo vessel called the Ever Lovely as it was exiting the Strait of Hormuz off the Omani coast. The ship is Singapore flagged. UK authorities say there was damage to the ship's bridge, but no casualties. The attack violates the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the U.S. and Iran just 8 days ago. That deal had helped sharply increase the amount of oil flowing through the strait. CENTCOM says more than 500 ships and 250 million barrels of crude have flowed through the strait since early May through the U.S. military's help with both mine clearance and transit coordination.
Fox's Lauren Simonetti. The U.S. is pledging to provide assistance to Venezuela after two devastating earthquakes. Secretary of State Marco Rubio details the Pentagon's part.
The Department of War is going to have to play a big logistical role here because they have the ability to land in challenging places. Right now, the airport in Caracas is damaged. One of the runways is cracked.
Meanwhile, the number of dead is increasing.
The president of the Venezuelan National Assembly, Jorge Rodriguez, is confirming that the death toll has tragically risen to 188 people, and they believe roughly around 200 people are still trapped underneath rubble. They're working hard to continue to search for survivors. We know more than 1,500 people have been hurt in some way from this. The main airport in the country that's been severely damaged and is shut down right now because of the impacts that it sustained.
Fox Weather's Katie Byrne, Venezuela's acting president, has declared a state of emergency and warns the number of dead could climb. Two earthquakes struck in northern regions of the country. America's listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Accident on the outbound Edens at Dempster off to the side, but it is heavy at 50 minutes out to Lake Cook Road. The outbound Kennedy is an hour out to the airport. Eisenhower 1 hour and 5. Post Office to 390. Stevenson improving slightly at 45 to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355. 30 minutes outbound Dan Ryan stop and go on the Express 35th to Marquette. Heavy conditions northbound to Saba Lakeshore Drive, and that is right at Balboa. Roadwork in the right lane solid. From the Stevenson, you are seeing delays either way on that, as well as the Tri-State. Southbound a stall at the Grand Avenue curve, delays eastbound Reagan, and southbound 355 as well. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise, bringing warmer weather with a mix of clouds and some sunny intervals, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Here it comes. Surprise! There's an avocado shortage! Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you! Also, you're out of napkins!
Those aren't cheap! Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot! Looks like you're in a turf war!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family owned with integrity since 1981.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Socialism, Marxism, communism. Not only doesn't it really exist, oftentimes it's a virtue shield to move a bigger problem into society. Now in Chicago, you're used to just a couple of short-in-the-pants Irishmen stealing your money and putting up with their sexually frustrated wives. That's the version of socialism you're used to in Shirakistan. But now it's a little different in New York.
And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad, the
guy married to the 6-year-old. But that's all right. He didn't consummate the marriage till she was 9. Yuck. And then there's the new communist afoot. She's very interesting, too, and everybody talks about her. She's a socialist. Yeah, but there's another sidecar to that problem.
I know that we all deserve a representative who isn't bought by AIPAC. I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted 3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada?
I don't know what any of that means. I just want bacon.
This American man must pay the price for America's failure to surrender to the Islamic State and submit to the will of Allah. The death of this kafir will soon be repeated 300 million times over. The caliphate will destroy the great Satan. We will urinate on your constitution, and soon you shall have Sharia in your...
You know where that is, Squirrel? That's not in Iran, which ironically translates to land of the Aryan. That's not in Pakistan. That's not even the Taliban. That's in Texas. My next guest also resides in Texas, and you may remember him from a fantastic movie where, to this day, Matthew Broderick is signing autographs because of the dance moves of one of the best directors, if not the best director, in all of documentaries, Chris Burgard, director of Remember the Alamo, Don't Sharia My Texas. How are you, handsome?
Oh, every day is Chris and Shaun every day, and I just can't wait to talk to you every time.
Well, I have to tell you, it's amazing what we live through. And, you know, we're so used to these idiots that believe there's an ism, communism, socialism, when the reality is it's just another task to make politician gods among us. And what a better cover to implement this Islamo-Nazi cult. That is a joke on its face, is a joke of their customs and their traditions, but moreover has identified the enemy since we were a country. And Jefferson had to fight the wars that nobody wants to talk about to this day against the Islamo-Nazis. And we're back at it, and always and forever. When are we going to learn?
No, well, people don't know their history. Our first foreign war, and it was a big one, it was way expensive, was with Islam. It was the Barbary Pirates, and that's where we get the Halls of Montezuma and the term leathernecks for the Marines.
And they were in the slave trade business for about 1,000 years before America was around, if not 3,000. That's the other part of the coin that always gets shelved. All the time they're using racism against a bunch of people that had nothing to do with slavery. And they ignore the ones who are still practicing racism, who are still practicing slavery. In Africa, all 54 countries have slavery. And nobody says a fracking word.
Well, no one talks about how many, if you know your history, but the Northern Europeans that were taken into the caliphate as slaves was in the millions, and it's still going on.
Well, of course it is. And this is, and as this happens, listen, if you are by happenstance born into this terrible nonsense, listen, I was born into Catholicism, and you could look right now. We got a Southside Democrat who pretends to be infallible and calls himself the Pope, but to me, he's Southside Bob. I don't give a rip about that nonsense. And if you're born into a religion that you think is nonsense, and you don't, then fine, come here, make it all happy. But the tip-off is, are you still dressing like it's the year 622 AD, and are you still willing to celebrate somebody who married a 6-year-old? I mean, this is preposterous what we're dealing with.
Oh, my Lord, Southside Bob. That may be the funniest thing I've heard all month.
Come on. Guy,
infallible. So to answer your question, this is why the fight, look, I did not make an anti-Muslim movie. I made this movie to avoid violence because Texans aren't Londoners. They're not New Yorkers. If you have rape gangs come into East Texas where I live, the cops won't get there fast enough if the neighbors and the family don't get there first. Okay, we want to avoid violence down here. That's why I made this movie. But you have to understand where we make the stand is. And if you're Muslim and you came here because you enjoy this country, the freedoms, the benefits that we have, follow our laws. Okay, assimilate into the community. But what we've got now, thanks a lot to Biden and Obama with this mass migration that's come in, is we have so many people here that want to follow Sharia. Now, Sharia is the systematic laws to guide all Muslims that has not changed since 640 AD. This is a medieval set of laws that has not changed, and it is the enemy of the Constitution. You cannot have Sharia law and the constitutional law in the same civilization. And as the top imams in the world will tell you, Islam is not a religion. Islam is a civilization. It is a political system that governs every moment of a Muslim's life.
Well, what's fascinating is the facts of how many people who come here and still practice this hobgoblin stuff, still dress and still bait the wives and still have all the nonsense. How many of them are on welfare? It's not just in Minnesota where 8 out of 10 Somalians are on welfare, aside from the ones stealing it. It's also that problem in Detroit. It's that problem in New York. It's that problem in California. How in the world did we get to a position where not only do you come here, you're forced to not assimilate. In fact, you're incentivized to not assimilate. And I pick up the rent check? Get the hell out of here.
It's called empathetic suicide, and that's what our country is doing right now. And it's because it's not just the Islamic invasion, but it's the conjoining of the Islamic movement with the Marxist movement, and it's what we call the Red-Green Alliance. That's what you're seeing going on right now.
One of the things that I see, that the complete difference of governance is amazing, right? When you go from a Soviet state like you and I are from, and you go to Texas or you go to Florida or Tennessee, wherever you go. But you see that the awareness of this is very simple. If you are of any faith and you are an American first, come on in, everybody's going to get along. But if you think you can buy land and secede in acres to practice your Islamo-Nazi cultism, you can't do it. And this is something that Florida makes very clear, Texas makes very clear, 11, 12, 13, 14 states make very clear. But yet it's the states that are financially broke in the first place that pretend to be all-inclusive, like a Carnival cruise, which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen the videos on the last one. You don't want to go on that garbage either. But this is exactly what's happening in the states that can afford it the least. And yet, somehow it's picked up by the federal government. We finally have somebody who's aware of this, but he appears, as of late, to not be aware of it as much as he should be, in my opinion. How do you view what the administration has done with the handling of this entire nation that is killing its own people, enslaving its own people, and we still pretend that there is a theocracy in Iran? I mean, either kill them all or don't pretend you can have an agreement with people who still dress like it's the year 622.
You know, there's 3 people in my movie whose families escaped Iran, and because of one of them, Ed Porter, he was the school board president where we defeated CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood 11 years ago when they tried to put Sharia in my daughter's school. We developed, along with the Allied Special Intelligence Group, we developed the strategy of how to recognize the threat and how to take it down peacefully. We took that win. This is what we want to do in all of Texas. Take back Texas, and I start here in Texas because I live here and because Texans are different than New Yorkers and Minnesotans or Dearborners. They're very rugged, they're very strong, and everybody down here has guns, and we don't want to use them. That's why I'm doing this movie, so we can keep this peacefully. Because what you see in Paris and Berlin and London is not going to go well here. But I have to tell you, right now, Texas is losing the fight for freedom down here. Islam is winning because they own the politicians, they own Republican politicians, they own Democrat politicians, and because every time they build a mosque or an Islamic center, they draw a 3-mile perimeter around it, 3 miles in every direction. Claim that ground. That's why they put out the call to prayer. That's why you see military-age men closing down streets in Houston, Dallas, and New York. That is all part of jihad. Halal food in Dallas, in the suburbs, right now, you order food. Some places you can only get halal meat. That is done as a sacrifice to Allah, and the animal suffers horribly. So if you're a Christian, we're not supposed to partake in meat that's sacrificed to foreign gods, but that's what's happening down here.
So you know what's fascinating? I remember during the Branch Davidian argument, right? There was an argument. Branch Davidians was a cult. And they had their own little place, and they were having guns stockpiled and all this, and David Koresh pretended to be the second coming of Christ and the rest of it. And on paper, what did they do? What did they bother? Who did they hurt? But it was Democrats. I remember a very manly woman before this whole trans thing kicked in who was working for Bill Clinton. She said, can't have this. And the government went in and said, this cannot exist. This is a country of laws, country of the Constitution. Cults cannot take over areas. And that was Waco, Texas. Why is no one pulling the Waco card?
Because, well, to be clear, the people at Waco were different. They hadn't broken any laws, but the federal government came in and they killed them, just like they did at Ruby Ridge.
And they used the excuse you can't have a nation within a nation. That was the excuse that Janet Reno made in her costume.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what. Well, yeah, but Janet Reno is the woman that wrote the fusion reports that said the three most dangerous threats to national security under the Obama administration is returning veterans, pro-border security enthusiasts, and Christian pro-lifers. You see how the Marxists work with this to get the whole thing going? So what you see right now, we don't want violence down here. But at the same time, I mean, if you came down here, you would freak. I can take you to shopping malls or Costco's where you're going to see more people in hijabs and guys in dresses than you're going to see cowboy hats. That's the reality of the Dallas-Fort Worth area right now. Yes. Now, I live in East Texas. I live in the country. And out here, the most political question they're going to ask you, Shaun, if you come down to visit me, is what church do you go to? Not do you go to church, but what church do you go to? It's going to be the Texas country rural Christian churches that break the invasion of Islam.
So obviously, you know, I've been listening to you. You and I've talked to you a handful of times. Like, you're a friend of mine. I could tell in your voice, this one's a little different for you. You've said a couple of times, you know, you don't want to go to violence, but ultimately, listen, you know this as well as anybody, Chris. What is violence? You know, violence is when you take somebody's earnings. To me, when you take somebody's property, that's violence, right? The government perpetrates violence on all of us at some point or another. But when you talk about this, if the government isn't going to do what you pay it to do through your complacency of paying taxes, this is the government's job to do this. This is the government. I pay you, you work for me. It would appear that you have a cult that's taking over land, that's trying to take over schools. What am I paying you taxes for? Why don't you get involved in this? And how in the world could there be a section of a state, a county, whatever you want to call it, that can negate American law and practice a religious cultist law? How is Sharia even tolerated? I mean, I know in Florida, we say, you know, they made a big deal about it. I thought it was redundant. You can't do it. That's why Janet Reno killed those people, or the excuse she gave. That's why they do this all the time. Why are they sitting on their hands? And you've got a cowboy still in the governor's mansion for the appearance of things to out-of-staters. Why is he so quiet on this?
Well, listen, I asked the governor to be in the film. We invited him to premiere. He's been pretty silent. We were all excited when he declared that CAIR and the Muslim Brotherhood were terrorist organizations, but then it didn't get codified. It didn't go any further than that. The same week he came out and said that, you had the Democrats in Austin wanting to make a whole Muslim month, and they were partying for Ramadan. So it hasn't made any difference to us down here on the ground. And my friends that fought in Iraq and in Afghanistan, they're like, this isn't how we treated terrorists when we were in the service. So did they change the meaning of the word? What's going to happen down here is Texans, and this is why we're starting in Texas. We'll win Texas, and we'll be an example for the strategies for every other state in the union. But Texans are not Britons. They're not Parisians. They're not New Yorkers. They're not Dearborners. Like I said before, there's certain things we just will not stand for. 250,000 rapes on the tiny green island of England in less than 10 years. My buddy Tommy Robinson, his cousin was raped when she was 13 years old by a room of bearded Muslim men. And you know what the cops did? Nothing, because they didn't want to be called racist. And now you have so many folks from Islam into local, state, and federal government in England. They're not prosecuting these crimes because under Sharia law, it's not a crime. Those women deserve to be raped because they weren't properly covered. That's Sharia.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you talk about this. I have so many cuts on my board, right? And it's about these imams saying exactly what you just said. The other thing that you have as a benefit of evidence, it's not like the imams are hiding this. In fact, they're very vocal about it. Who's hiding it are the American media outlets. Who's hiding it are American law enforcement. Who's hiding it are American Democrats, which now have embraced the Islamo-Nazis in New York, in the mayor's office, have embraced the Islamo-Nazis, and they have for decades in Michigan. So that, to me, is where the fight is. And if you could get to the right sources of mainstream media, outside of a fantastic radio show hosted by an extremely handsome, smart radio host. You could really run with this ball. Have you gotten a call from Fox? Have you gotten a call from News Nation? Have you gotten a call from these outlets that are a little bit outside of mainstream, but they're also massive with viewerships to get this information out there?
Absolutely not. In fact, we're having a hard time finding theaters to put the movie in because people are just afraid. And they're afraid of being called racist. And you're going to see in the movie, they're afraid of being killed. That you started to play part of that skit we had in there. We actually did a whole skit. It was a beheading skit. It was very Monty Python-ish. And true story, and why it's in the movie, is the night before we were supposed to shoot, the lead actor quit because his family was afraid he was going to be killed for making fun of Islam. How does that happen in the United States of America, that someone is afraid to be funny because a religion might kill them? So that's why that's our line in the sand, stop Sharia law. Because if you don't have the First Amendment, you don't have America.
Well, I've got a cut on the board of the genocide that's happening in Africa. It's insanity. Have you been watching this? And there's a preacher out there. You want to talk about a man. This
Shaun,
guy calls him out.
You're going to see that. You talk about machine gun. Yes, he's actually a friend of my. There's a fellow in the movie, Troy Brewer, Pastor Troy Brewer, and the fellow you're talking about is actually a very good friend of Troy's. So you'll see in the movie, we have friends in Nigeria, and for those that don't know, they're committing mass genocide in Nigeria, especially in the Jos district. They are killing Christians. The majority of the Nigerian government is Muslims. They want these Christians gone. And the parallels between Texas and Nigeria are simply amazing. We were both hit with terrorist attacks on 9/11. We are the belt buckle of the Bible Belt. This area, Jos, that you have in Nigeria is the biggest concentration of Christians in Africa. Nigeria is the energy capital of Africa. Texas is the energy capital of America. My friends have had their houses burned down, their relatives killed. Their nephew's been put in prison. They don't have the Second Amendment. That's the difference between Nigeria and the United States of America. And it breaks my heart. My friend Lawrence calls me, and he's like, Ramadan is ending on Palm Sunday. They're going to come kill us. And there's nothing I can do. And what happened on Palm Sunday? They came to his village, and they killed his neighbors, his friends. And then when they had the funeral for them 2 days later, they came and they attacked the funeral.
So you want to know what's funny is
it's happening now.
I see when I'll still go to gun stores in Florida, and it's amazing. And what they say in these stores, and what a lot of people are, they talk exactly like you're talking. I'm assuming Texas is just like that, if not times 3. So they're very aware, right? I mean, I don't know, and I got news for you. I live in a nice, gated all night. I don't know a person in my building that doesn't have 5 guns. So people, I think, are more ready, and I don't think they're going to be very successful in these states that are about freedom, like Texas or Florida or even Tennessee or the rest of it. And if you look historically, who do they hurt? They hurt women. They hurt children. It's the religion and cult of cowards. They're not going to mess with the men in Texas. They're going to get their ass kicked, as they've done by the veterans you talk to constantly. I mean, have you ever seen a bigger fake story of pretend tough guys? Have they ever won a war? They get their ass kicked on a regular basis.
But that's in a war. See, what you're missing is it's just your attitude that has allowed them to win, because we all think that. They're not going to come here and do this. We're going to stand up. They came in underneath. They fought the politicians. That you can't win a war that you don't know what's going on. And the majority of Texas, they've never heard of Sharia. We just had a referendum 2 months ago. 95% of the people voted against Sharia law. You can't have it. The other 5% didn't know what it was, so they didn't vote against it. It's just now waking up down here. People have no idea, and everybody's afraid of being called a racist.
Well, what happened in the school, and did you defeat it in the school, in your daughter's school?
So there was a 7th grade history, and remind me when I get done with this, I need to tell you how I got involved with this 19 years ago.
All right.
So 11 years ago in the Acton Agua Dulce School District, the 7th grade history lesson, they were supposed to draw, it was a medieval history lesson. You were supposed to draw a priest in a church, a rabbi and a synagogue, and draw Muhammad and a mosque. And one student complained. They went to the Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, which most people in the intelligence field say that they are the mouthpiece, the propaganda arm of the Muslim Brotherhood. They came in and they bullied the school superintendent that he was standing up for hate speech, this, that, whatever, and they bullied him into putting a new policy in that none of the students could draw any of the prophets. That means Jesus, that means Moses, that means Muhammad. And what they had done is our kids couldn't draw Christmas cards with baby Jesus in the cradle. So that's called Sharia law. And they wanted to do it in a small little cowboy town because they thought they would use that as precedent to go into LA Unified, which is 500,000 kids. But this is where God has a sense of humor. I had been working against the Muslim Brotherhood for 11 years when this had happened. My buddy, who was head of the school board, his family escaped from Iran, and the parts that didn't, they killed him. So he knew what was going on. So we rallied the churches together. We spoke at the town council meeting. The whole town went to the school board meeting, and an unprecedented 5-0 vote, the liberals and conservatives on the school board came together and said, you're not going to tell our kids what they can or cannot say or draw. And they overturned the Sharia decision. Then CARE came in, and this is what they do. And right now they're saving a lot of money to threaten people with lawsuits. CARE came in, and they said, we're going to sue you. And our guys said, bring it on. You know, we're a town of cowboys and cops and stuntmen and ex-military. Bring it on. And CARE backed down, and they went down to San Diego.
You know, it's fascinating to remember all of the scandal that was CARE. And everybody remembers Ibrahim Hooper and that scoundrel. He couldn't get lucky with anybody else, so he became an Islamo spokesman. It was funny to watch that. And how Barack Obama, after he secured the White House, and you had the FBI that had files and paperwork, and they had the evidence of banking and all the rest of it, then all of a sudden it gets squashed. So it's amazing to see how many people forgot all of that. Because for 20 years, every allegation you've levied was fact. And everybody knew what it was. And yet they still exist to this day. So it's interesting to see why they're still in this position and how the Trump administration is not revitalizing these investigations. Or are they? Maybe they are revitalizing these investigations. Have you heard anything?
No, I have not. I've been, and you've seen my movies on J6. I've been very disappointed. You know, the people have not been called to task and have not been indicted and have not been gone to prison. We showed who the architects of J6 were, and they're still running around free.
Yes, that is very upsetting. But you know what I love, though? You've made these documentaries over the years, and they are absolutely fantastic. I've enjoyed each and every one of them. So this one, Remember the Alamo, Don't Sharia My Texas. I've got it at alamo.lifechristian.tv. Is that the only place we can get it, or where else can we get it?
Yeah. Simpler. No, simpler. So we partnered up with the Christian Television Network to make this movie. These guys are just awesome. Just go to rememberthealamomovie.com. Rememberthealamomovie.com. And there's a big way, Shaun, that your audience can help us. We are so shadow banned. We just put out a Disney cartoon that we put in the movie called Don't Sharia My Texas. And I'm so shadow banned, I think I have 7 views. With all the interviews I do, to only have 7 views on this thing,
first of all, it's
that
impossible.
That kind of tells you that. Well, there you go. Welcome to life. That's where you have the Red-Green Alliance. That is the Marxists working with Islam because they control the media.
Well, I'll tell you another approach. If you ever want to do it, you let me know. I got some investors. We open up a discotheque right next to the Sharia area. What do you think? We call it Winky Hoods. We call it Winky Hoods. Come and get your groove on, and you do the Ferris Bueller dance. Come on, we'll rock their world. These people don't know what they're missing.
Well, I tell you what, just do this. If you have a dog, just go walk your dog around the mall. That'll work.
Oh, I'll tell you what. My favorite is when the women in Paris, did you see what they're doing in Paris? They're walking pigs. They're walking pigs. I'm not kidding you. On the beaches, they walk the pigs. This is my pet pig, Porky. And that'll keep it. We go with the bacon chastity belts. Protect your women. There's a lot of money we could do. We start doing this. Pig blood ammo. We give them the blackjack Pershing ammo. Oh, Chris, we don't lose. We're Americans. I love the idea you did this. And give one more time a site where you want everyone to go.
RememberTheAlamoMovie.com.
Thank you, brother. I so appreciate you doing this. You come on any time. All right?
God bless, Shaun.
You too, brother. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The IRS just lost thousands of experienced agents. Unfortunately, your tax debt didn't disappear with them. Right now, the IRS is understaffed and overwhelmed. Now is the time to put your IRS issues behind you. Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Has the IRS garnished your wages yet? Have they grabbed your bank account yet? They will if you ignore them long enough. This is Patrick Noon with PJN Tax Solutions Group. We are a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. Listen, this is your window of opportunity. Our tax resolution team knows exactly how to leverage the chaos. But you need to act before the IRS regroups. Call us now. The IRS is in disarray. We are not. 630-415-5296. That number again, 630-415-5296. Or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
If you're over 65 and struggling with knee pain, Joint Relief Institute offers a guaranteed way to treat it. It's non-surgical and often covered by Medicare and private insurance. It's JRI's Joint Arthritis Treatment, knee lubrication placement that's so accurate, it's 100% guaranteed and can relieve your knee and shoulder pain in 10 minutes or less. Book your risk-free consultation today and get back to walking, golfing, pickleball to cycling without pain or medication. Call 708-315-6800. Meet the provider, get an x-ray and joint consultation. Why wait? JRI has treated over 30,000 Chicagoans and performed over 400,000 procedures. You could be next. Over 5,000 5-star Google reviews can't be wrong.
Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800 for the Joint Relief Institute. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted.
You know, I said bacon chastity belt. I'm pretty sure that's the name of David Hochberg's boat. And when he hears it, he only thinks of bacon and thinks about how to make you money and help you buy your house, pay off your credit cards. That's what Team Hochberg does. You can check out the reviews, the tens of thousands of 5-star reviews on Google by simply Googling Team Hochberg. You can also check them out at 56david.com or call 855-563-2843 if you want the proper financial advice for not only how to acquire real estate, but how to take an advantage of equity in real estate, how to avoid the potholes, where not to buy, where to buy, more importantly, where to buy with responsibility, where to understand the liability of when you buy. That's what David Hochberg does. He will actually tell you if you should buy. This is the kind of experience you get from acquiring not just many, many customers, but many, many satisfied customers, securing billions of dollars in mortgages, home equity lines. You could see for yourself by just going to 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. If you rent and you want to buy, if you're curious to know how the big, beautiful bill has benefits for you of taking a loan out on a second home, which you now can use as a write-off the way you did on your first home, call 855-563-2843 or online 56david.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 643114. And don't forget, if you borrow enough money or he likes you enough, he may take you out on the SS Bacon Chastity Belt. When we get back, Terry, Chris, Phyllis, Bernice, oh, I like that name, 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun, in the QC Kinetics newsroom. And major rulings today from the Supreme Court. The court allowing the Trump administration to end legal protections for migrants fleeing violence and natural disaster in Haiti and Syria. The court has also sided with the maker of Roundup weed killer, blocking thousands of lawsuits, alleging it failed to warn users the product could cause cancer. The U.S. sending crews and supplies to Venezuela following a pair of powerful and deadly earthquakes. Speaking in Bahrain, Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We're already deploying search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez has declared a state of emergency. Mayor Brandon Johnson will sign an executive order creating a Department of Gun Violence Reduction. Cubs and Mets tonight. The news a service of Mattress Firm. Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy. Your next news update is at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the roads with Jill Urchak.
Outbound Edens, 21 minutes to Lake Cook. Still a bit tight at Dempster with that accident off to the side. The Kennedy, 55 minutes. Janeburn Interchange to O'Hare. Eisenhower holding it 1 hour. Post Office to 390. Stevenson out 45 out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Dan Ryan, 30 minutes out. Express stop and go 35th to Marquette, but it is getting better. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that remains heavy either direction, and so does the Tri-State. Southbound, a stall in the right lane right near the Eisenhower. Westbound Jane Addams, exit ramp closed to Meacham. Because of a stall, you'll see delays eastbound Reagan and southbound 355. This report is a service of the daily podcasts of Chicago's Morning Answer and The Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 60. Moving into Friday, it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain and a high of 70. Friday night will bring partly cloudy conditions with a low of 60. As we head into Saturday, temperatures will rise with a mix of clouds and some breaks of blue sky, reaching a high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Tired of posting to your business's social media but only your employees notice it? Meanwhile, your competitors are winning over customers by racking up thousands of views. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. Here's how it works. If you're in Chicagoland, we sit down with you and come up with all the ideas. Then we handle the filming, editing, and posting. You don't lift a finger. Out of town? No problem. We build the scripts, coach you through filming it on your phone. Then we take care of the editing and posting. Myers Media also does bigger projects like website videos, event filming, and paid ads that make people pick up the phone and call you. You know what makes your business special, and we know how to turn that into content that gets noticed and gets you customers. Schedule a consultation with us today at myersmedia.net. Again, that's Myers, M-E-Y-E-R-S, media.net. At Myers Media, we create social media content that gets engagement and drives sales. myersmedia.net. Let's get you noticed.
For months, you've been hearing ads about Virago immune support. I have to tell you, this stuff is for real. I had an occasion to not be feeling well on a remote broadcast. I took it, and it is the real deal. And the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body defends against diseases, viruses, and everything else. That's why Dr. Huber created Virago, a liquid immune booster supplement. You take it daily. It's a blend of 23 nutraceuticals working in synergy to maximize effects and boost your immune system. It's the nutraceutical cocktail for an immune system, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Virago even protects your heart, your kidneys, your liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Do yourself and your spouse a favor. Order a bottle of Virago today online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
With things moving fast to resolve the situation in the Middle East, the headlines may change, but the fundamentals haven't. America's debt continues to climb, and uncertainty still hangs over the global economy. That's why investors continue turning to one asset that has stood the test of time: physical gold and silver. For generations, gold has been viewed as a safe haven asset during periods of geopolitical tension and market volatility. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's acclaimed book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. Discover why central banks are buying gold, why many Americans are diversifying with precious metals, and how a tax and penalty-free rollover into physical gold and silver may fit into your retirement strategy. Don't wait until the next crisis dominates the headlines. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 right now. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling a collection or just the high-end antiques? Get top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Wayne Newton. Twice the man of George Conway. Same hairdresser. Twice the man of J.B. Pritzker. Wayne Newton can do a push-up. What a voice, huh, Squirrel? Before auto-tune.
So the UK's Independent Rape Gang Inquiry has released their 219-page report on the so-called grooming gangs that have been sexually exploiting girls throughout the UK for more than 70 years. And what they found is worse than the Epstein files, which is probably why you're not going to hear a whole lot about it from the media. In fact, not one single story yet on any of the major news networks, the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal. They're too busy water testing the reflecting pool like it's a CSI episode. So here's what investigators found. Buckle up. They estimate at least 250,000 girls across the UK, predominantly white, have been sexually assaulted by so-called grooming gangs since the 1950s. As much as 95% of the abusers were Pakistani men, and the first-hand accounts are almost too vile to describe. Women, including young girls, have been drugged, trafficked, gang raped, tortured, and passed around like community garbage bags by Muslim men who were led into the United Kingdom and their descendants. Multiple women have described being assaulted by large groups of men as part of Islamic religious rituals. The report also describes widespread efforts by British authorities and town councils to downplay, ignore, or outright cover up these crimes for fear of being called racist and Islamophobic.
Phobic. It means afraid. I'm not afraid. I am repulsed. And the more you learn, the more repulsive it is.
Child marriage is mubah. It's not haram. It's not wajib. It's mubah.
There is no minimum age prescribed for an allowable Islamic marriage. So a boy or girl could get married very early.
Child marriage. What age group are you talking about?
You go through puberty, and puberty can start as young as 6 or 7 years old.
If I'm 80, I can marry a girl, she's a woman. What's the problem?
If she's 13, you're married, you're allowed to marry her. You can
Why
marry.
not?
Oh
my God. If the menses start, she's a woman.
Would you want to do it?
Can I hit you in the head with a pickaxe? Is that all right? Is that haram? Frickin' morons. Absolute morons. Despicable.
Muslims, to this day, are enslaving black people in Africa. It was Muslims are the reason why we blacks are here in America today. Not because of what Christians, white people did to us.
Weren't those slave traders white men from Europe?
No, they were Muslims.
Arab slave
blacks
traders.
and Muslims. The slave trade was going on long before white people, Christians.
I didn't say a word. That's Ted Hayes. Ted Hayes happens to be black. American black, not like the Barack Obama. No, not like Sonny Heston. What's her name? Sonny Hostin. Whatever. That fracking idiot. Not like Kamala, who isn't black at all.
The Jews even showed up. In fact, from 700 AD, from what I can research, go Google stuff up. 18 million blacks were taken out of Africa into the eastern parts of Arabia and the East and so forth and so on. 18 million, whereas the whites and Christians bought about 13 million from the black and
And this is yesterday.
Look at this one. We cover his face because they butchered the head with AK-47. Any of them that you see we covered their heads, their brains. Look at that woman there. That woman there, look at her brain is outside on top of her clothes. And it's all from Islamic agenda. That they are controlling the state. Especially their eyes is on Plato. But don't worry. What I'm doing here is being watched everywhere. And I know we will not keep quiet. God kept me alive so that I'll continue to fight and voice out for my people. And I thank Jesus, my voice has made America to stop Islamic people intruding into America.
People keep telling me to stop talking about this.
That's today, or yesterday, excuse me. They're killing thousands of black Christians in Africa, where in the 54 countries that make up Africa, there is still slavery today, perpetrated by the Islamo-Nazi. Terry, Chirac.
Hey, Shaun, real quick, three things. One, the only one that can look at me and I can't look back is God. Two, Muhammad, in his own words, the reason why the women were the beekeepers, because Muhammad said when he saw a woman, he saw her naked under her clothes. Pervert. Number three is I wanted to stick it to Maldani. I'd hire 10 strippers to stand in front of him in front of every press conference to see which is stronger, human lust or the Quran.
See, that's why the Southsiders, you're never going to be friends with the strippers. You want to torture the strippers. I just want to put them through college. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Scott Bartmus, co-founder of ESCO, a security and fire alarm services business, and a customer of Signature Bank. We work hard to give our customers peace of mind, so it's nice to know that while we have our customers' backs, partners like Signature Bank have ours. When COVID hit, there was a lot of uncertainty for many businesses, particularly surrounding the PPP loan program, with parameters and deadlines changing constantly. The executives from Signature Bank worked weekends alongside their staff, filling out and submitting applications to ensure they took care of us. That type of dedication is hard to find, but we found it with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options. You can stay and fight, engage in local races, work to change things. Or you can vote with your feet. At leavingil.com, we help you build a smart exit plan so you know where to go, when to go, and how to do it right. Take our quick exit readiness assessment. Go to leavingil.com. That's leavingil.com. Or call 224-800-6979.
LabCorp Early Development Laboratories Incorporated has an opening for a metabolism senior formulation scientist in Madison, Wisconsin. Job duties include drafting methods for formulation of vehicle and test article, up to 5% national travel. This position requires a bachelor's degree or its equivalent in chemistry, physical science, biological science, or a related field, and at least 3 years of experience as a laboratory associate, research associate, or related role. Resume to resumes@labcorp.com and reference job code SM062026.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Hello, everyone. Gary Sinise here. I'm thrilled to share that me and the Lieutenant Dan Band are returning to Cantini Park in Wheaton, Illinois, where we will be rocking for our vets. Join us on July 11th for the West Suburban Foundation for Disabled Veterans America 250 concert, saluting our veterans and supporting your veteran community. Tickets are on sale now at WSFDV.org, and I can't wait to see you there. Let's rock for our vets.
AM 560, The Answer.
There are 3,142 counties in America. Counties. Do you know how many of those counties, Squirrel, voted for the office tramp?
You know what also excites me? Among the many things, I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them.
It's no wonder she lost her underwear on Willie Brown's Riviera. 427 counties. That's it. That's it. 2,633 counties rejected the Marxist Mafia Islamo-Nazi Party. Celebrate that. Bobby, downtown.
Hello.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So anyway, you get all these people calling in. Are you still standing or you sit at this time of day?
I always stand.
What do you do?
I stand.
You stand. Good man.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like a wildebeest. You run all the time until you drop.
Exactly right.
So anyway, listen, we got to do this. We got to get rid of these clowns. We got to give them that week to get out of the country, or we go door to door. I mean, either that, they're going to do it to us. Might as well do it now. You look at the old ancients. They've had social wars, revolutions, many social. They lost more people during social wars. So we got to get them. That's all there's to it.
Bobby, do you know why I keep saying Carthaginian peace? It's the only way to make peace with a cult. Cannot make peace.
There you go.
Can't sign agreements.
I understand.
They don't have the ability to sign agreements. They don't have word. They have an agenda, and that agenda is to conquer. And you're right. Listen, Bobby, that's why you come down by me. It's a different world. It's a different world when you're among the decent. Come and join me, Bobby. Tommy, Blue Island.
Hey, Shaun, happy Friday, dittos. Shaun,
It's
I'd rather
Thursday,
deal
but
with the
it's
morality of a
Thursday.
stripper than some Chicago public school teacher that's got an ass twice the size of mine, which when we were kids seemed impossible, but now is more than possible.
Yes, and Snuffleupagus, today is Thursday, but that's all right. It's Blue Island. We don't expect much. Chris, Wisconsin.
Hey, Shaun, how you been?
Good, babe.
All right, baby Reno.
Go ahead.
All right. No, honestly, with these gated communities, I get it, because some of them are getting turned inside out, and I don't know what's going on, but I heard a lot of crooked stuff is maybe happening. And talk about the mafia, got their teeth sunken deep.
The mafia is the Democrat Party.
Sir, what's your name? What's your name?
Debbie Brockman, I work for WGN.
He said, sir. It's because you got an ass like Tom from Blue Island, known as Snuffleupagus. We'll be back in 21.
This 4th of July, celebrate America the right way. Fire up the grill, invite the family over, launch the fireworks, and proudly display a handcrafted wooden American flag from uniquewoodenflags.com.